View. OBS. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do that again and everybody pretend that. Everybody pretend. Okay, hold on. Hello, everybody, coming to you live from twitch.tv/swelltimegpool. This is Archive Attack, my video game magazine media trivia game show. I'm your host, Gpool, and today I'm joined with three incredible, fantastic, intelligent VTubers. Let's introduce them left to right. We've got Professor Bloom, VTuber. Welcome in, Bloom. Lovely to have you here, Bloom. Would you like to tell everybody about your cool streams and whatnot? I'm juggling the buttons like crazy. Oh my. Why? Why? Check, check. Check, check. I need checks from you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Oh, okay. Okay, Bloom, you're allowed. You can do your intro again. Hello.
All right. Thank you for having me on Archive Attack. For anybody who doesn't know me out there, my name is Professor Bloom. I'm a music teacher. I do a lot of singing, and I play lots of retro games on real hardware with an eye towards Kusoge in particular. I love them. I also play tons of Doom 2 custom megawatts. I've been playing Doom for 30 years now.
Yeah, you do like Doom with Bloom like every week, right?
Every Wednesday for almost 4 years now.
For almost 4 years now. That's such not just a testament to you and what you do, but a testament to how much Doom stuff is out there.
Oh, there's more than I could possibly play.
I believe it. Like in many lifetimes. Bloom is a bit quiety. I've already boosted Bloom, but I can boost him
I
some
can turn
more.
up on my end if you would like.
That might help as well.
How's that? Is that a little better?
It sounds good to me, but we'll see what everybody else has to say.
Okay, we are hearing good.
Good, good, good.
Looks good.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, we've gotten through all of the hiccups and now we're ready to get back onto the show regular style. Welcome to the show, Eyes V Machina.
Hello, that's me. Thank you so much for having me here for your very first stream.
For my very first stream ever. This is my first time streaming. Can you believe this is my first stream? That explains like all the weird little scuff and stuff, right? I've never done this before. I really appreciate your patience and your willingness to like and subscribe despite it all. Hello, Icy. Would you like to tell everybody about your streams and everything? All the wonderful
Hi.
things that you do?
Yes, I can do that. Hi, I'm Izzy. I also stream retro games, unsurprisingly. I mostly just play whatever I feel like playing.
You're a big
Yeah,
fan
that's
of
about it.
You're a big fan of them wrestling. You love to fish.
I do. I like wrestling, I like fishing, I like fighting games. I also illustrate, though I don't always stream my my drawing.
Do you like women?
I do like women. Women are my favorite guy, as it turns out.
True. Round of applause for
They were
women.
Excellent.
That song hit on something magical with that line.
Truly an incredible string of words.
Truly. Well, thank you for joining me here, Isv. And last but not least, we've got Ari Abiel.
Hello. Well, yes. Thank you so much for having me on, Gpool.
Welcome in, Ari. Tell everybody about the wonderful, cool world of RPGs that you go through time and time again.
Yeah, I guess I'm becoming kind of known for RPGs. I'm not a pure retro streamer, although I do stream retro RPGs, which, you know, is kind of like both genres at the same time. I have been at this for almost 12 years, which is absolutely insane. Currently working on Ys 8 and Breath of Fire, alongside
Ooh.
some ninja game challenges, so that's been a lot of fun.
12 years. That's a no joke amount of time.
Yeah, that would be 12 years next month, actually.
Holy smokes, you got any exciting plans for that?
Working on it, but I'm thinking of doing two 6-hour streams. One would be like viewer requests, and the other would be just whatever the heck I want.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, thank you for joining me here tonight, and thank you everybody for joining me here, and thank you chat room for joining us here tonight. It's been a little bit since we've done a game show, so we're shaking the rust off a little bit, but I'm very excited to be back at it here in the Archive Attack studio with the roaring crowd in the background. They love it. They can't get enough of this stuff. If you've never seen the show before, this is primarily a trivia-themed game show. We've got a lot of video game-oriented trivia based on media surrounding that trivia. Primarily, this time around, we're all looking at magazines. Old video game magazines from all around the world.
That's wonderfully nostalgic.
That's usually my shtick with Archive Attack, is it's generally like the media around the video games, just because I'm so fascinated in the psychotic and insane things that people would publish in literature and print for real world dollars.
It's some of it truly boggles my mind.
It's insane. I can't get enough of it though. It's just like getting to see all these glimpses of like these real people who are writing these real things, and it's because, you know, it's not like the days of the internet where you can just post a tweet or whatever. You have to go through a publication. You have to start a business to get your thoughts out there, so you can tell everybody how hot you think Riku from Final Fantasy X is.
Yeah, supposedly somebody
I
read
love
this.
that one with all the letters people wrote
Yeah.
in about Riku. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm a big
Look,
fan of that one.
They should speak their truth.
They should. It's awesome that they're willing to write their full name and email address over how awesome they think about the things that Titus from Final Fantasy does to that person in their pants.
They had to mail a letter to somebody else to say that.
It's
That's
true.
dedication.
Those were the days. And I really do find the charm and all that. It's really fascinating and really fun, so I'm always excited to get to explore that realm. So this show is sort of me getting the excuse to go deep dive into all of these magazines and time capsules and everything. It's a lot of fun. So I guess we can go ahead and get started with our first segment of the show. So we're going to be taking a look at some magazine reviews of old video games of yesteryear. I've got a handful of these guys queued up and ready to go. Oh, I should have done this before we started stream, and I do this every time I do one of these streams, because some of these rounds are buzz-in rounds, and I need everybody to figure out what Discord buzz-in sound you have.
Ooh.
If you got Nitro, that'll help you out a lot. But there's a handful of other like stock ones that we can use.
Do have Nitro. How does one buzz in through Discord?
You see that little icon with the microphone or the megaphone on it?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this one.
Yeah, if you hover over that, that'll give you some options. And if you have Nitro, then the 40 billion servers you're in probably have other sound effects.
They do. I'm a little overwhelmed by this. I've literally never seen or used this feature.
There's a handful of other like regular ones. Quack, air horn. There's a few stock ones there available. I should have. We should have set that up beforehand, but that's okay.
I have a bunch of Mahjong Soul sounds I could use.
Yeah. Just,
I'm not going to do that to everybody.
I just need you guys to stick to one, so that way I'll know who's buzzing in. That's the only way we can do this.
So, I'm going to out myself as being very Discord illiterate. Is there a way for me to hear what one sounds like without broadcasting it to everybody at this moment?
Nope.
Okay.
Here, I can.
So I have no idea.
I can mute the mic on OBS for a second. So if you're worried it's going to
would
be
like to I would like to preview one.
Sure. Okay, go ahead. I didn't hear it either.
Discord settings at some point.
Oh, that'll do it.
Let me.
Yeah, but it didn't even come through for us. Strange.
Let me see if I can figure that out.
All right, Icevy, do you have a bell, a noise that we can ring?
No, I don't pay for Nitro.
No, that's okay. There's Quack. There's Airhorn. There's a Cricket.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Cricket's
Cricket's
a
probably a
classic.
little
It's a
not
little-
quite intense enough.
Airhorn's
Where
good.
even is that setting?
Oh God.
Oh, sound. Is that the soundboard then?
Yes,
Okay, I had soundboard volume at 0.
that'll do it.
Let me try this.
Icevy, would
Okay.
you settle for Airhorn?
I will settle for Airhorn.
Whoops. I'm sorry.
What was that?
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Oh,
Right,
it's
so-
my favorite.
Do I need to favorite this? How do I just make that sound happen? Do I have to click it every time?
I believe you do. I'm also kind of Discord illiterate, but there is a favorite star over the icon that I'm sure will.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do that, it'll put it at the
Okay.
top.
Okay, I think I've got it now.
Cool.
And
Alright.
that was audible to you?
Yes.
And the crowd out
Very
there?
much so.
All right, I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. And Airy, you got a noise that we can figure out.
Oh, let's try this one out.
It's pretty good. It's a little long. It's pretty
All right,
good.
let's see if I can find a shorter one.
We do love casting spells, however.
Who doesn't love casting spells? Oh. I love that wizard emote. That emote's so good.
I should make an emote out of the ripped wizard on the cover of Solstice.
Oh,
Love that guy.
the Solstice wizard.
This one's a B. Let's see what this one sounds like.
Time for a buzz.
Wow, that sounds nothing like me. Let's go with it.
Time for a buzz. I mean that doesn't get more buzz in than that, I suppose.
All right, so to review, our respective buzz-ins are, we go down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I've got
Very good. And
I've
Icevy.
got just
Very good.
Time for a buzz.
And there we go. That's everybody. Okay, we've got everything all sorted out now, so we can go ahead and get started on the first round of the show. So, this round is a buzz-in round. I will be reading from old magazine articles. And I will, as soon as you think you have an idea of what the game is that's being reviewed, buzz in, let me know your answer. Let me scooch back just a moment. I need to grab my notebook, so give me just a second. I'm not going too far though, don't worry.
We've been abandoned. Quick, let's take over the game show.
Where's he keeping the car at?
Also, forgot that I needed that. But okay, so we're all good now. So every question in this round will be worth 2 points. You get one chance to buzz in. If you get it wrong, you'll just have to sit out until somebody else gets it right, or we move on to the next one. Everybody all good? Everybody got that all figured out?
I
I'm
think
ready.
so.
I'm ready.
Incredible. Okay. So, with that in mind, we can go ahead and get started here. This first review that comes from Game Informer number 37. This was released in May of 1966. As soon as you think you
96.
know, as soon as you think you know what the answer is, what game you think is being reviewed, go ahead and buzz in, and we'll see how you do. 1996, 1966, The Bite of 87. All right.
Time traveling here.
You may have dissected them in science class, and heaven knows they're good for your garden, but you've never seen blank with violent tendencies like this. They come
For a buzz.
airy.
Is it Battletoads and Double Dragon?
I did not mean to press the laugh track. No, that is incorrect, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Let's see. And if anybody else feels like they know it, go ahead and buzz in. They come in teams of 4, and they're armed to the... Ivy.
Is it worm? Is it worms?
Correct. It is worms for everything, really. It came out on everything back in the day. But that's 2 points to Ivy. Start setting us off here, and we can hop over here and take a look at that wondrous worm page layout, sharing a half spread with NBA action.
I may have that exact magazine
Really?
somewhere. I had an active subscription to Game Informer from 1996 to 2010.
Oh wow. You were in there for the long haul. I really like this era of Game Informer where they were just throwing colors everywhere.
It
Very
was great.
exciting.
It's
That's
a very vivid layout they've got.
yeah, again, not to get too far off of everything, but like the old magazines, not only did they have people writing their madness, they had to think about page layout, they had to think about the design of each page, where you're going to throw a little picture, where you can fit every little bit of text in. It's super fascinating. It's an art form in its own regard, and I really, really appreciate it for that. All right. This next one is coming from Hyper, Australia's #1 gaming magazine.
Ooh.
Ooh,
This is
no.
from issue number 165, which came out in July of 2007. If you've played the DS version of Blank, you'd know how much fun the simple concept of a game based around cooking can be. And with I think Bloom got there just before.
Is this Cooking Mama for the Nintendo Wii?
Correct. That is Cooking Mama Cook-Off for the Nintendo Wii. Very nice. I figured that one would sort of give it away pretty quickly, but I still
Right.
thought it was...
Between the year and the platform, it's like, okay, it's either Trauma Team or Cooking Mama.
Exactly. But here we go. We've got Hyper's review here, mixed in with Elodie's and the Metal Slug anthology. Just your standard column piece, but they gave it a
Elodie's
72.
was Ella Bits elsewhere, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
That's a cool game.
It is a cool game. The Wii, believe it or not, pretty cool. Alright, let's move on to our next one. This comes from a magazine called Ultra Game Players. This was from issue number 92, which was published in December of 1996. We're going back to that golden year of 96. There isn't a person out there who bought their 32-bit polygon-pushing PlayStation for a better class of puzzle games, but just pop Blank into your PlayStation and watch all those technological wonders sit on the shelf and collect dust. Anyone who's ever played Tetris knows just how addicting puzzle games can be, but Blank is much more than another poor man's Tetris. The key difference between Blank and other puzzle games on the market is the fighting game approach that... ISV?
Is this Puzzle Fighter?
Correct! Puzzle Fighter for the PlayStation 1.
I'm just surprised to hear such a positive review for it from, from a magazine in 1996.
Yeah, well, you know those ultra gamers. They know what they were going for. Yeah, they gave it a 9.0. They were very
what I would
thrilled
give it.
with
I mean,
it.
they were right, but
They're right, but yeah, I feel like a lot of puzzle games were sort of overlooked back then, despite how many there were.
for anything even vaguely 2D or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to get a 9.0 is pretty good. Maybe these guys at Ultra Game Players know a thing or two. Alright, let's move on. We're going back to Game Informer for this one. This one was from issue number 41, which came out in September of 1996. Whatever your grandpappy told you about fighters is now old news. From one gaming generation of fighters to the next, the basic fundamentals have stayed the same, but the overall concept and evolution has taken off a whole new unexplored world. Resistance to this change is futile, and as long as there is a joystick, there will always be a close encounter in the coin-op kind. While we may not exactly be sure what the game is, we will spend our entire allowance to figure it out. The latest invading fighter comes courtesy of Sega. The game is Blank. Professor Bloom.
is it Virtua Fighter 3?
No, I'm sorry, that is incorrect. It is not Virtual Fighter. Or as we like to call it over here at Game Informer, Virtual Fighter in a box. Blank is a unique title which can vaguely be compared to WWF Rage in the Cage.
For a buzz.
Airy.
Is it Fighting Vipers?
Correct. That is
Ooh.
Fighting Vipers, which, as Game Informer so eloquently put it, really is Virtual Fighter in a box.
I mean, it kind of is.
It
Yeah,
kind of
that's awesome.
is.
Fighting Vipers is a very funny game.
It's very funny. I'm a little more affectionate for Fighters Megamix, but it's essentially running on that engine.
Right.
Very good, very fun. Go play Fighting Vipers if you haven't. It's very good. Oh, good job,
Just
Ari.
go down to your local game store, pick it up on your Sega Saturn.
Hmm. Yeah, they've got it there waiting for you. Alrighty. So we're going to Super Play Gold for this one, which was a European, I believe British review news outlet. And Super Play was specifically a Super Nintendo magazine. That's all the pointers you're getting from me. And this is what they had to say. A genuine Amiga and PC classic, and the game that really cemented the reputation of French developer Blank. Blank is remarkable in a number of ways. First, and most obvious, is the way it looks. It's hard to think of anything... Professor Bloom.
Out of this world?
Correct.
Ooh.
Out of this world,
Oh.
or another world,
Another
as
world.
they call it over there. Yeah, this one was, as I said, was from Super Play Gold. It was from, which was a big like yearly issue they did before the magazine sort of went defunct in like under a year. But this was like their big like year-end one where they reviewed a ton of Super Nintendo games, and it shared a half spread with Battle Clash, which got a 48.
Oh, that's... Wait, are they calling it the worst Super Scope game of all time?
Wow.
They're calling
That's
it
mean
the
to
worst
poor
Super
Battle
Scope
Clash.
game.
Battle Clash
Harsh.
is fun.
I really don't know what they want out of Battle Clash. But they weren't happy with it. Is this a Bloom-owned item?
The Super Scope, or I mean, I have a Super Scope.
Oh, who knows? Surely you've got a copy of Another World
Battle
lying
Clash?
around.
Not on Super Nintendo. I know I have it on a couple platforms.
Alrighty, let's head back on over to Game Informer again. This is from issue number 37, the same one as that Worms review. So, May 1996. Gotta get a turkey. Virtual Boy owners now have the option to bowl 10.
Nestor's Funky Bowling.
That is Nestor's Funky Bowling for the Virtual Boy.
That is another Bloom-owned item. Both the Virtual Boy and Nestor.
So basically, you've got like the whole collection of Virtual Boy games, is what you're telling me.
I don't have Virtual Bowling because that's like a $12,000 game.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
I'm not kidding.
Not yet, anyway. But here it is, in this incredibly gaudy page. The background is,
Ooh.
I don't know what I'm looking at there, but sharing
It's very
sharing
hard to
space
see.
with Brain Dead 13 and Arena for the Game Gear. They were
Yeah.
just cramming things everywhere.
I was gonna say
yeah.
print layout is kind of lost art. And looking at this, I'm not sure if it was ever a found art to begin with.
Brain Dead 13 is also pretty sick.
I'm fascinated by the 3DO and
Get one.
whatever it is.
They're awesome.
Okay, I'll go get a 3DO. I'll go to the 3DO store and get a 3DO. Alright, we're heading back over to Australia with this one. Another Hyper, issue number 165, July 2007. Blank was originally designed for the GameCube, of course, and it's clear that, in the same way as Twilight Princess, this is a GameCube game with novel extras to suit the Wii controller. In Twilight Princess, however, those novelties increased the level of player involvement. Here, they feel like tacked-on gimmicks. Point the controller at the screen. Airy.
Is it Resident Evil 4?
No, I'm afraid that is incorrect. Good guess, though. I feel like I could see somebody complaining about Resident Evil 4's motion controls. I feel like most people probably complained about, I like motion
they were so
controls.
good. The
I
pointer
love
controls
motion
in RE4
controls.
Wii rule.
Okay, where was I? Point the controller at the screen and it'll light up an area of the screen, as would a magic torch, making visible previously hidden items. A lot of the time, you just have to guess when this feature should be used. It feels unnecessary and adds nothing to the experience. Another disappointment is that Blank, like Fire Emblem on the Wii, forces you to use the Wii Remote in a horizontal hold. Yeah, it feels like the any... Professor Bloom.
Is this Metroid Other M?
No, sorry, this is not Metroid Other M. I've got a little bit left to read here, so ISV, whenever you feel like you've got something, you feel free to buzz in. But the NES pad made our hands hurt because of its sharp angles. In this position, so does the Wii Remote. We want to use the classic controller, but we can't, presumably only because of the remote-based gimmicks introduced here, and so the whole control system is compromised. Of course, Blank initially gives no indication of these frustrations. It all kicks off with a very pretty introductory cutscene, albeit an overlong one, and the game world looks awesome. There are plenty of references to Mario's heritage. Collect a special mushroom power-up, for example, and Mario will become a screen-filling giant version of his pixelated 8-bit self. But there are also... ISV.
Oh no, I'm blanking. I thought it was Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers Wii.
No, I'm
not.
afraid. The answer we were looking for was Super Paper Mario.
Oh,
What
The
are they
horizontal
on about?
controls pointing at the screen. The lack
not-
of
there's
intuition.
There's no indication they're playing an import copy.
It's something. I don't know what they were thinking with this one, but they were not happy with Super Paper Mario, which is a bummer because that game's fantastic.
I
oh,
love it.
it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Says somebody who's never played any other Paper Mario, but Super Paper
That's
Mario
the last
is
video game
incredible.
I remember renting.
Oh.
I was in college and I rented that game.
Ah, those were the days. There was like the fleeting feeling of like the red boxes that used to do video games. Like I remember getting Last of Us day one, back when Last of Us was a PS3 game and not on every console ever. And that was like a wonderful summer Sunday.
Yeah, we still had a local Blockbuster in the Wii era, and after high school was done, I'd go over to my friend's house and play Wii at his house, and that's how I got to play Super Paper Mario.
Oh, cool. The good old days of Super Paper Mario. Alright. Let's move on. We're once again hitting up Game Informer. Let's see. This one was from Game Informer number 94, which was published in February of 2001. No list of cult favorites would be complete without at least one game created by the kooky gents of ArtDink, Japan's premier purveyor of weird. ArtDink's bizarre creations would easily warrant an article in themselves, from the obtuse and complex mecha game, Carnage Heart, in which players are required to not only build but program the AI of their own mechs, to Tale of the Sun, a strange multi-generational caveman sim. ArtDink has a knack for making games that defy categorization. We've selected Blank over the aforementioned titles because it was the one instance in which ArtDink's far-out concept translated into a game that was actually playable and fun. Blank took the basic premise of dominoes, added booby traps, reminiscent of the classic board game Mousetrap. Professor Bloom.
Is it No One Can Stop Mr. Domino?
Correct.
Yeah.
No one can stop
That game is sick.
Mr. Domino. Oh, it's perverse in its difficulty. It is
ArtDink are
ridiculous.
so cool.
They're so cool. And we can see here sharing a page with Toy Commander. This was from a segment where they were like idolizing weird and odd oddities about the video games from a few years prior. So, but I thought it was so interesting that out of all the things they could have focused on, they picked out Mr. Domino. Love that guy. His game is way too hard.
Oh, it's great.
It's great. Big fan. Big fan. Alright. So we're heading to Canada with this one, everybody. This is from a magazine called Total Gamer. Which was really, this was...
That's a great name for a game magazine.
Of course. This was published in March 2003. Blank was one of my favorite on the Sega Master System, so I was quite thrilled and concerned when Sega brought the game back in the new form on PS2. Professor Bloom.
Is this Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 Plus?
Incorrect, I'm afraid. Good guess. Phantasy Star was on the up and up. Wait, was that one on PS2? The online?
No. Oh, Phantasy Star Universe was not.
Ah, okay. Right. Yeah, I was like, isn't online the GameCube one? But whatever. Let's see.
And Xbox.
Really?
Yep.
Huh. Let's see. Sega developers replaced the side-scrolling view with a third-person following view, and the original star, Blank, has been replaced with Hatsuma and his ridiculously long red scarf. In old-school fashion,
That would be. It's Shinobi.
That's Shinobi for the PlayStation 2. with the iconic long red scarf.
Still maybe the most stylish game.
Oh, it's beautiful to look at.
It is an incredibly cool looking game.
As beautiful of this spread, sharing a page with Dragon Ball Z Budokai.
Yeah,
They
wow,
gave
look
it
at that.
4
That's pretty
stars.
sick.
It's pretty sick. I love the colors on this one. I love how just like sharp all the angles and the splashes are. Very nice. They liked it more than Budokai. That says something to somebody. Let's go see our next review here. We're returning to Ultra Game Players. This is from issue number 94, which was published in February of 1997. Each of the established gaming genres continue to mature in the next generation arena, but the RPG seems conspicuously without a solid model. The most obvious snag stems from the desire to incorporate 3D technology into the mix. Blank is a good example of what happens when a technology such as this is forced into where it doesn't certainly belong. Certainly, there are no steadfast rules that suggest 3D is not welcome in the RPG genre, but any fan can tell you that RPGs are about getting at the story in the most direct fashion possible, and that the graphics are secondary. Unfortunately, in an effort to bring the game up to today's visual standards, Blank strays from all this important formula and, in the process, dampens its own potential impact. Set in a contemporary urban environment, Blank deserves credit for breaking free from the traditional regal stature of most RPGs and offering the gamer a chance to play as familiar character types. This approach is not without its dilemmas, however. While the game manages to blend fantasy elements pretty well into the story, there are times at which it becomes more difficult to swallow such aspects because of the setting. The game also has the potential of dating itself with its youth of today attitude, but for now it's more refreshing than anything. The problems in Blank arise when the game begins shifting back and forth between first-person exploration, overhead traveling on a huge 3D map, and the extremely awkward sprite movement when inside a room. Since the game is constantly changing format, it's tough to ever get a good feel for the focus. This quickly becomes distracting. A final issue is the frustrating number of fights you are forced to endure. The fighting engine can be enjoyable, with the many spells and high-powered weapons at your disposal, but there is simply too much of it. In the end, the fighting does more than to get in the way of the storyline than it ever does to enhance it. It must be said that the battles do showcase the game's very best graphics, but after the first few rounds, this fact provides precious little consolation as compared to the frustration level of being caught in another fight. Finally, Blank is not without merit, but it's too busy stumbling over itself to be great. Ivy.
I'm taking a swing, and I'm gonna say, is this Persona?
It is Persona!
I'm the best!
No!
Persona
What?
1. That's right.
What the hell
Persona
are they talking
1.
about?
All the right elements are there, but do they ever come together? They,
Yes.
Well, not according to them, apparently. They gave it a 6.9, which is pretty
That's nice.
low. But you know, that game's like $400 now, so maybe that's why. Maybe we might be onto something.
We didn't know what we had.
We didn't know. Like, Persona 1 and Persona 2 are both, like, exceedingly rare titles out there.
Yeah, they're right though. That Persona series, that's never gonna take off.
Never, never.
That won't catch on.
Surely not, right? I don't know what they're thinking. They should go back to the Pokemon format.
Real.
Alright, we're returning to Game Informer for this one. This was from issue number 33 from January 1966. Somewhere far away in a mystic land, there exists a place consisting of several different areas, each of which has an entrance, an exit, and 3 keys which open the doors to the next level. This is the world where Blank's latest adventure takes place. In this game, you'll be racing the clock to collect the 3 keys and find the exit. Every 4th level, you'll encounter a boss which, when defeated, will lead you to the next zone. There are obstacles and enemies on each level, and you'll have to utilize your super spin attack to be able to be at all effective. There's not much to say about this game except that it's another Game Gear cart, which may make some people happy. Professor Bloom.
Sonic Labyrinth.
Correct.
Yeah.
Sonic Labyrinth for the Game
I
Gear.
kind of like it.
It's like, it's like the nuts and bolts effect,
I'm
right?
a
Where it's like,
sicko.
it's weird that this is a Sonic game, but it's not bad.
Oh, it's pretty bad.
It's
but-
pretty bad, but it's not bad. But here it is alongside Atari Carts and Killing Time. Yeah, what were you going to say about Sonic Labyrinth?
Oh, no, just that it's not good, but I like it.
Mm-hmm. It's a video game. They gave it a 5.5, so
That's
it's
pretty on the mark.
fine. It's pretty on the mark. Not great, but not bad. But not bad. Anyway, let's see. We're back into Super Play Gold with this one, which was a 1993 release. Blank, the arcade game, has one main thing going for it: the unusual graphics, which take digitized representations of real people and use them for each of the assorted fighters, giving the game a
Time for
strange,
buzz.
airy.
Is it Street Fighter the movie, the game?
No, I'm afraid that is incorrect. Remember, this Super Play is a Super Nintendo exclusive magazine. This basic look is brought across to the Super Nintendo fairly well, but unfortunately, so are all the inherent faults of the game. Crude. Professor Bloom.
Is this Pit Fighter?
Pit Fighter it is.
Pit Fighter SNES really sucks.
The I don't even want to say the poor man's Mortal Kombat. It's just not good, and even they agree. They gave it 14.
Wow.
I don't think there was a review in this one that was lower than 14. So I think Pit Fighter really is the number one.
Pits.
It's the Pits. It's the Pits. They got it right there alongside Populous, which they seem to like Populous. They were
Populous
down
is
to clown
good.
with Populous. That's the lowest score Super Play has ever given, and Pit Fighter deserves it. Oh man, they're not happy with those pits. Alrighty. Once again, returning to Australia with Hyper, from that same issue, 165, published in July of 2007. Treyarch, what happened with Blank, which is a prequel? You delivered us one of the most fun and exhilarating movement options we've seen in a game in ages. Your web swinging was nearly perfect, balancing speed, fun. Bloom.
Is this Spider-Man 3 the game?
Spider-Man 3, the game.
With the
For-
funniest QTEs of all time.
It is the game that made me laugh personally more than any other game I've ever played in my life. It is the best video game ever made. Pure Gen 7 at its peak. They
You know,
were killing
In that
it.
sense, it's a great video game analog to the Spider-Man 3 movie experience.
It really is in a weird way. They're both so bizarre and jarring and strange. But hey, they liked it more than Pirates of the Caribbean. This means something to somebody, I'm sure. But
Overlord was pretty cool.
Overlord's pretty cool. Yeah, Spider-Man 3 is a baffling, insane video game, and as a real fan of those classic films, gotta say, pretty happy with how fucking botched this game feels. Alrighty. Game Informer here. This is from issue number 94, which released in February of 2001. Ah, yes. Yet another brilliant review I spent countless hours piecing together falls on deaf ears. Woe is me. Presumably, if you've glanced over the pictures and read up to this point, you must be one of the 5 uninformed souls who doesn't know a thing about Blank's historic side-scrolling exploits. Welcome. Grab a cookie and some punch. Early on, Capcom insisted that Blank wouldn't return in classic 2-dimensional sequel. Liars! Icevy.
This Mega Man 9?
No, I'm afraid. Mega Man 9 was a bit later than 2001.
Oh, why am I thinking...
Time for a buzz.
Harry?
Is it Mega Man X6?
Incorrect, I'm afraid.
Keep reading. The pressure's off.
Yeah,
on me
yeah.
now.
As soon as you feel like you've got something, Bloom. Here's the living proof, baby. Now, if Capcom's statement included revolutionary or groundbreaking, then it's a different story. Part of me is glad to see the old mold, but then again, why didn't Capcom try to make it better? The technology is definitely there to make the game much more explosive. Just look at how Konami worked wonders with Castlevania's 2D PlayStation venture. Many of the changes Capcom implemented actually take away from the game, rather than add a new dimension.
It's Strider 2. I hate this review.
It is not Strider
Oh,
2.
Because I remember Game Informer didn't like Strider 2, and it was the worst review.
Oh, I don't want to read that. Don't send me that ever. No, the answer we were looking for was Mega Man X5.
Oh, I was one off.
I thought that would have been long out by then. X5's like good though. What's
I think
X5's fine.
it's better than X6.
it's better than X6.
They didn't know
Yeah,
that yet.
I don't like that they have classic Mega Man as like the one image here. No
Right.
Mega Man X characters at all.
That's just
but-
wrong.
I really think it was more so fatigue than anything. Like, after Mega Man Legends, that was all people wanted, so they had X4, and then they're like, another 2D one? Are you
I
kidding
don't think
me?
they liked Mega Man Legends either, though. I think they gave
But it was
Adventures
3D,
of Tron
so-
Bon like a 4 or something. Like, they hated it.
Well, maybe Game Informer just doesn't get it. But they still gave Mega Man X5 a 7, despite how arduously he was like bashing the whole entire thing. He's like, it's fine, Mega Man is good, but it could be like it could be
Could've
like
been better.
Metroidvania, All right, so we've got one more review to read. This is from Ultra Game Players, issue number 110, which was published in May of 1998. With the demise of the Saturn on the forefront of gaming headlines, a completely original title for a dying system is somewhat unheard of. But this summer, Sega has commissioned Yuji Naka and his Sonic team. Bloom.
Burning Rangers.
Burning Rangers. Burning Rangers for the Sega Saturn. One of the coolest video games ever.
You got to
Burning
experience
Rangers.
that recently, didn't you?
I
It's the
did.
greatest, 7 out of 10 video game ever made.
I just wish that there was more. There's 5 levels, and
It's
they're
pretty
all
short,
it's
yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
pretty straightforward experience, but the style is there, the flair is there.
Also, it's
It
really
just
funny
needs-
to see a magazine from 1998 saying, "Can Yuji Naka pull it off one last time?"
One last time, baby.
Convicted felon Yuji Naka.
Well, I guess we got our answer there. That was it for Review Corner. Professor Bloom got a bit of a lead right now with a whopping 16 points. Icevy, Mary, there's still plenty of game left to get caught back up, so don't stress too much about that, alright? Coming up next, if everybody's good, but if anybody does need to take a break, now would be the time before we go into the next round.
I'm good.
Yeah, could we?
Oh, sure.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. So, everybody, sit tight, and we will be right back after this commercial break. It's the setting up screen again, so don't get too excited.
All right.
we've returned. Everybody has been waiting for the next round of Archive Attack to begin, and now we're back, and now we're good to go. How's everybody feeling?
Feeling great. Was just, vibing, doing my idle animation the whole time while we were waiting.
Classic Bloom move.
Have you seen that's a trend on social media right now? Like people imitating King of Fighters walk cycles?
No.
That's like a thing on Chinese social media right now. Everybody's just trying to walk like King of Fighters characters. I'm not even kidding.
That's good. That's a good use of social media. There's not a lot of those, but that's a good one.
Might be the only good one.
It just might be. Alright, so next up in our next round of Archive Attack, I call this one Cover Stories. If you've seen the show, then you know what to expect with this one. We're going to be taking a look at some heavily censored, heavily blurred magazine covers, and you're going to have to buzz in when you think you know what the magazine, like what the cover story of this magazine is. There are 3 like gradients levels of blur to go through. If you can nail it on the highest one, that'll net you 3 whole points. Another layer down will be 2, and then another layer down will be a single point. Same like last time, it'll be a buzz in. You get 1 shot, so make sure you're confident if you're going in on that early 3-pointer right there. Make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think I get it.
Alright, so if we can head on over to our big picture show and get you out of here, old magazine reviews. We'll start with our first one. This was released in September 1993, to give you an idea, from a magazine called Game Power. Here we go. Whoop, I clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. Got a lot of color there. Very bright yellow piece. Some peculiar shapes going on. I'll give you guys... Oh! Ivy.
Is it Mega Man X?
Correct!
Wow.
Holy moly! And you'll notice about this one, which it might even be easier to point out, as we get more
What's
and
going on
more
with his face?
query. That is Super Mega Man.
Super Mega Man.
This was from like the earliest like previews of Mega Man X, where it was just, they had barely anything figured out, and they were going off of like silhouettes of the character to try to figure out what this guy looked like, and that's what Game Power came up with. Mega Man X had quite an interesting era of wild and wacky advertisements like that back in the day. There was a world where people just didn't know who that guy was yet, but they wanted to find out about him. But yeah, good job, Ivy. You saw the blue, you saw the outline of the Buster, and that was enough.
Oh, I figured it was either X or 6.
Right. I was thinking because 6 was a 1994 release in the US at least, but that looks like, is it a Portuguese or Brazilian magazine or some... I couldn't tell if it was Portuguese or Spanish.
Yeah, I believe Game Power is Portuguese, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I believe it's from Portugal,
and
but I could be wrong.
the first mention of, 64-bit Nintendo there.
Yeah. Nintendo 64 bits and Kirby's Para NES. Alright, so let's take a look at our next one here. This was from Game Fan, Volume 3, Issue 6, published in June of 1995. It's a lot to take in here. A lot of color. Airy.
I'm gonna guess Donkey Kong Country 2.
No, sorry, no Donkey Kong going on here. I can sort of see what you mean. Like, I sort of feel the vibe of the 3D characters just from these pixels alone. I'll give you guys a few moments, but if nobody knows this guy, then I'll knock down the gradient a little bit. But feel free to buzz in. Go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's knock that down a little bit, clear things up just a little bit. Things are a little bit clearer now. Shapes are starting to come in. Bloom.
That is Bug for the Sega Saturn.
Correct. We zoom in a little more. And there he is, ever the devilish foe.
If you haven't seen it, the game over screen, I can't remember if it's in Bug or Bug 2, is one of the most lunatic things I've ever seen in a video game.
I believe you. I'm a big fan of, like, the early game fans would always have their, like, buff TV head mascot on the cover of their magazines. This one's got a lot going on. NBA Jam 32X, Daytona USA, Virtual Racing, Primal Rage, Earthworm Jim 2. It was a big one. Street Fighter the movie. That one's so big it gets a photo on the cover. Absolutely insane. Someone should steal Buff TV Man as a VTuber. They put him in, like, Skibidi Toilet, I think. Alright, let's move on down to the next one. Okay, so this one was from Total Control. This was volume 0, so this was like a preview to the whole magazine. And this was released in October of 1998. There you go. You just Googled the game over screen? Are you happier now? I hope so.
Probably not. I feel like I'm at the eye doctor's right now.
Yeah, this one is it's an interesting one. There's a lot of negative space. There's not a lot of color, but maybe after things depixelate a bit, it might be clearer to make out.
I'm trying to, like, cross my eyes, trying to, like,
Yeah.
unfocus my vision to
Turn your head upside down. Maybe you'll get a better idea.
Yeah.
The magic picture, the 3D image will pop out.
You just have to look at it in just the right light.
That's it. We need a magic eye VTuber. You can only see the model if you cross your eyes and look at the screen.
That's good. Alright, if nobody's got a guess, then in 5 we'll knock it down a level. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boop. Things are a little bit clearer now. Maybe shapes are starting to fall in line. Maybe you're starting to grasp the situation. Eyes, V.
Is it Sonic Adventure?
That is correct.
Wow.
Sonic Adventure.
I forgot what year it was. I'm like, that's
Guess
Sonic, but I have no
who's
fucking.
back?
I'm gonna think it's 10 years in the future again. I accident.
The silhouette of the eyes in the mouth. Like, when we're here, this could be anything.
Yeah, this could be fucking anything. This is an astronaut clinging to the
I
globe.
see it now.
You can start to see them
It's
together by the time we're
green-
here.
The
The
green
green
appearing in
eye.
the second eye.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what
there
does it.
he is in his wonderful mug.
Guess who's back?
Guess who's back? Yeah, because, like, what was the most latest, like, recent Sonic games? Was that like Knuckles Chaotix on the 332?
3D Blast on Genesis
3D
and Saturn.
Blast.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, Mega Drive and Saturn's Virgin Magazine.
Right. Alright. Let's see. This next one, it hails from the far-off year of May 1998. This was from Ultra Game Players, issue number 110. Here we go. A lot of color to this one, a lot of moving parts.
It's like I think I have an idea, but I don't know if I want to commit to it, you know?
For sure. There's a lot of color here. A lot of things could blend into all sorts of stuff. It could be
It's like
any
I'm
number of
thinking
objects
what-
or characters.
What games were popular in 1998?
Well, if nobody's got a guess, then we'll count it down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. Things are a little bit clearer. Professor Bloom.
That is Turok 2.
Correct.
Ooh.
I can read
Not
that just a
even-
little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, at this
But
point,
I also
it would have
you
been
can see
apparent.
the big open dinosaur mouth. You see the
Mhm.
big buff guy with the gun. Yeah.
And the babe, and the
And the
dead
babe.
dinosaur down under his heel. Insane cover. But look, there's a little Breath of Fire 3 up there. Isn't that exciting? All the secrets are revealed.
Ooh, and
Plus
Burning Rangers.
and Mega Man Neo. Back in that when that still had its whole like beta
Dead or
situation
Alive
going
versus
on.
Bloody Roar, who emerges victorious.
And Tekken 3. They have so many. I love the audacity of on the cover at the top there. One of their bullet points is, "Psst, buy me." Like, hey,
where does
hotshot,
it
come
say
on,
that?
buy me. Right up there
Oh,
at the
I see
top
it,
by
yeah.
Tekken 3's little screenshot. Insane. The artwork on this is so insane. I try to pull magazine covers that are like original art just because it's very apparent when you see Mario standing there in
Right.
his stock render. But when you get people that are actually drawing their own covers and stuff, that's where the real fun comes from.
I would say this is like Rob Liefeld art, but there are feet in the image, so it can't be Rob.
There's one boot. Notice the lady.
And there's no pouches.
The lady's legs are like. I feel like they're too short behind the
They're-
dinosaur,
They're
but
Yeah.
maybe
definitely too short.
maybe the dinosaur is resting on like a bench or something. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So this was from Saturn Fan, a Japanese magazine. Issue number 5, which was released in 1996. Here we go. It's a lot of color going on. Maybe some iconic forms and shapes and such that you might be able to make out with your mind's eye.
Just trying to think what Saturn games were causing a stir in 1996.
Yeah, there could be all sorts of stuff going on. It was a great year for video games? Question mark?
It was. Saturn was kicking ass.
Yeah, especially in Japan. Like
Yeah.
it was
Only.
working wonders
I was
over
gonna say,
there.
only.
Yeah,
No,
it's-
actually, I've been corrected on this. It beat the PlayStation in Portugal specifically.
Let's go Portugal.
Shout out to Stika on YouTube for disabusing me of my notions and being a Portuguese Saturn fan.
Alright. Unless anybody's got a guess that they want to make, we're gonna knock it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, things are clearing up a little bit. Maybe you can make out some familiar features.
Trying real hard to like unfocus my eyes.
You try looking at it upside down. That might help. Flip your whole monitor over. Eyes, V.
Is this Darkstalkers?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah, if
Vampire
we zoom
Savior.
in a little closer, Vampire Hunter.
Hunter. Oh,
actually.
Savior's the sequel.
Featuring Hisenko and then Dominic and that girl that you can't play as. She's there too. I like how colorful the screen is. They crammed the cover with so much text, but you still got this awesome drawing of Hisenko. Donovan, thank you. Donovan, that guy.
Did you say Dominic?
I think I said, I don't remember what I said already. I've already forgot. He could be a Dominic. He could be Dominic. But yeah,
But
those
you-
are incredible games. Hisenko has a very like iconic color palette, even
Yeah.
amongst those crazy
Yeah.
characters.
Her big claw was the thing that like made it seem obvious.
Mhm.
Though if you go back to that level of zoom, I feel like there's like a absurd Rorschach test going on here, where it's like that's just Kirby in the bottom right corner. What is
Right.
this?
Yeah.
This is Saturn.
It's like
He's riding
I
the
see
warp
what you
star and
mean.
I see it
everything.
now, but before it's like I couldn't interpret it. I was thinking like maybe Clockwork Knight.
Yeah, because like
That's
when we're
similarly
as far
colorful.
back as this, that could be like anything. That could be like a
Right.
pool of magma.
I see the Kirby now though.
And then we clear it up a little bit, and there you go. It was number 5, and it only cost 540 yen. Alright, this next one comes from Los Superjuegos. This was from issue number 9 of January 1993. There's some color there. There's a nice gradient going on in the background. Professor Bloom.
I mean that's Bart Simpson, but is there a specific Simpsons game I gotta say? Like Bart's Nightmare or Virtual Bart?
You kinda do.
I'm gonna say Bart's Nightmare?
No, I'm sorry. It is not Bart's Nightmare.
That is Bart Simpson.
That could be anybody. Icevy?
Is it Bart versus the world?
That's what we're looking for.
No,
was
Bart
Bart
versus...
versus the world.
No, that came out much earlier than 1993.
Well, this was a Spanish magazine.
That just says
Or-
the year of the Simpsons.
But he's crashing through the world.
I'm gonna.
You don't verse the world
I want to
much more
throw
than
this to
that.
the judges. There's no game title. There's no name of a video game on that cover.
Oh.
What are the? What's it say on the side? Because it says the year of the Simpsons.
Batman on Mega Drive.
Yep.
Roger Rabbit on Game Boy.
All the Secrets of Monkey Island.
All the Secrets of Monkey Island. Kim Bassinger's there.
I don't know. I don't think that's Bart versus the world.
This is the Bart versus the world box art, though. That's where they stole this.
It is. Well,
Bart
that's where they
swinging through
stole
everything.
that image of Bart.
Mm-hmm.
That came out in like 1990 on the NES.
Well, that's what they decided to sell it on.
I don't know. That's not a cover. It just says the year of the Simpsons.
Yeah, it was a great year to versus the world.
I register my formal complaint with the judge panel.
It's a wide world of fun Simpsons out there. It's sort of my my thing to always have a Bart Simpson. Maybe one day I'll run out of pictures of Bart Simpson.
Nah, they
No.
haven't stopped making new pictures of Bart Simpson yet.
Alrighty, we'll move on to the next one here. This one was from Game Fan. Let's see. Sorry, I got lost in my notes. Yes, Game Fan. This was from Volume 4, Issue 4, released in April of 1996. There's a lot to this one. There's a lot of color. There's a lot of shapes going on. It's a tricky one. Ivy.
Alright, swinging for the fences. Is this Super Metroid?
No, this is not Super Metroid, unfortunately. Alright, the Bloom, Airy, if you guys have any ideas, or...
I think I do, but I need to see the next level down.
Alrighty, well then we can knock it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, things are...
Yep,
There you go.
it's Guardian Heroes on the Saturn.
Correct.
That shade of red with the green hair, that gives
shade
it away
of red. For me, it's how disformed the muscles are on the characters here. His arm is so scary to me, but you've got all those classic characters all coming together in a
Guardian
really
Heroes is
beautiful
so
art.
sick.
It's one of the sickest games ever.
It's a very cool video game.
Treasure
So
just
just-
knocking it out of the park.
Just look at all the platforms they've got listed at the top. PlayStation, Saturn, N64, Neo Geo, 3DO, SNES, Virtual Boy. Oh, it's great.
They had the best. Plus Street Fighter 2, Alien Trilogy, Panzer Dragoons Wii, Night Warriors, Lobo, Mario RPG, and Hollywood Spot. Everybody's favorite.
Spot Goes to Hollywood is pretty fun. On the Sega Saturn specifically.
Specifically, what about the Saturn version makes it so exciting?
It's on the Saturn.
Fair enough. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Automatically more exciting.
I agree. The Saturn's so cool. It has no right being that cool. It does, though. It's awesome. Big fan. We're big fans of Sega over here, I suppose. Alright. This next one here. This comes from Dengeki PlayStation. It is a Japanese magazine. This was from, and it, as the name implies, PlayStation.
You don't say.
This is volume number 121, released in October of 1999. There you go. Got a lot going on. Professor Bloom, that was quick.
Is that Resident Evil 3?
Correct.
I recognize Jill Valentine's shoulders when I see him.
Oh yeah, that's a woman that you don't forget. The Nemesis drawing is quite insane.
Whoa.
I'm a huge fan of this cover. The artist just knocked it out of the park. But
Kinda
yeah,
wish Resident Evil 3 looks like that now.
a little bit, yeah. Like if they had that style of game with I don't know, like a Fear Effect engine going on or something.
Fear Effect was so cool.
They could have something super special because I really like the art style that they did for this one. But like, it's funny, Jill Valentine is sort of iconic regardless of what outfit she wears.
Right, but that the blue halter top, the shoulders, you never forget that.
You never forget that once you see it. Yeah, another marvelous, beautiful magazine. Japan, they get it. They know what they're doing over there. All right, we're going to Super Game Power for this one. Issue number 10, released in January of 1995. Professor Bloom.
Donkey Kong Country?
Correct. I think his shape is ever the iconic one.
Right.
Diddy on top
Diddy on
might
top
be
kind
throwing
What's
you
the-
off.
Yeah, what's the
What's
scale
wrong
of
with
this
it?
ditty?
Don't worry about it.
It got worse the
okay?
more layers you pulled away.
He's got his bananas. He's fine. He can hear you totally fine. His ears aren't messed up.
Did
and
they just
hourglass shape.
sculpted a donkey and Diddy out of clay, didn't they? for
They
this?
just sculpted a donkey
I
and
love
Diddy out of
that.
clay, and hey, you know,
when you
FIFA
got
Soccer's
no
coming,
access
Mega Man
to
X2,
renders, but you can do that.
you can make your own. This is a banger issue. It's got Mega Man
Ooh.
X2, X-Men, Samurai Showdown.
It's got FIFA on 3DO. Which genuinely is
Ooh.
like super good. That's not a joke. It's awesome.
I believe you. 3DO is such a machine.
I'm telling you, it's still next generation.
It's still next generation. We're never gonna get caught up. We've already peaked at Twisted. We can't go back. Alright. Next up, we've got another Japanese magazine. This is from Comptic. It was issue number 238, which released in March of 2002. There we have it.
Oh,
Got a feeling? The gears are starting to turn. Alright, if nobody's got anything in mind, we'll go ahead and knock the blur down a bit in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there we go. A little bit clearer. Might be able to make out more distinct art designs, art directions. Eisv.
Is it canon?
Correct.
Yeah. You're right.
That is Wonder of Canon. PC Character Magazine, issue number 238, March 2002. A whopping 880 yen for that bad boy.
Right, here's where the blur actually helped because I'm so used to seeing the girl on the right with boxing gloves on instead.
Oh my god. Yeah, you get a CD-ROM with this one. I was like skimming over all of the art and everything because I can't read the
we're talking
language,
about
but
one of the I think Welcome to Pia Carrot 3 as well.
Yeah, this was a fascinating one. It was like well over 200 pages, so you get that and a CD-ROM, well worth your 880 yen. Especially if you're into just the whole like PC scene. Good stuff. Love this artwork. Love her enjoying her taiyaki. She's living her taiyaki. She's living the life.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Yeah, let's move on. This is a classic. This is from Nintendo Power, issue number 7, which released in July of 1989. Real mystery, this one. A lot of early Nintendo
think
Power
I
magazines, they had a lot of like very cool, unique stuff that they put together for their covers.
It was one of the first covers was Castlevania 2, and it had the sickest art of
Yeah, the
Simon
severed head.
Belmont just holding Dracula's
Yeah.
head. It's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
can
I
they
had
do
a.
that?
I featured that one in the last episode, and everybody was like, "What? The? I could do that?"
Turns out, no, they couldn't. They had to send a lot of apology letters to frightened children.
Oh well, live and
I know
learn.
this.
You want to give it a shot?
No.
Alright, well, unless anybody else wants to buzz in, then in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yep,
Damn.
Our
that's Mega
balloon.
Man 2.
Correct. Mega Man 2. With one of the scariest Dr. Wily renders I've ever seen, and one of the strangest shapes Mega Man has taken.
He launches
is
a
sort of a-
lunatic plot.
He's in like a hunchback stance, just tossing atomic fire at him and hoping for the best. The model like itself is very cool. The Wily machine,
I love it.
it's very cool. Dragon Warrior was in this issue. Mario 2. Wait, Super Mario 2 Super Power Tip Book. And that's it. Hit previews, anniversary issue. That's all they got.
Hit previews. Isn't that the Pokemon typeface?
It looks really similar, actually.
Yeah, it's hard to see Pokemon without like the blue outlines, but
Yeah, and all the
you
crooked
might-
letters.
Yeah, you might be onto something there. You had this issue in your bathroom growing up. Awesome. All right, we're going back to Game Pro Gamers. This is issue number 153, released in 2001. Bam. I will say in the middle near there, this scan had a tear in the page, so there's an awkward little bit of white there that is not supposed to be there. Professor Bloom.
Is that Harry Potter?
Correct.
Wow. Yeah.
Those letters don't lie.
I see the little, the font and the little bit of like green I could
Mhm.
see for the eyes.
Yeah, and that very particular style they had for the Harry Potter like game
Right.
art. But Paper Mario's here too, and Breath of Fire 4. That's huge.
And everything about the Nintendo GameCube.
Everything.
Todo sobre Nintendo GameCube.
Oh, Luigi's Mansion, Ace Combat 4? Holy moly.
It's a good issue.
Good issue. Alright. We're moving on to Game Fan. Yeah, that would have been Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's
Stone.
But
Yeah. It said Pietra Philosophical, so
yeah, Philosopher's Stone, which in the
Yeah.
States is Sorcerer's
Sorcerer.
Stone.
we're not smart enough to know what philosophers are.
That could be anything. That's a big scary word.
It's about
Alright.
magic. It should be magic.
It should be magical. They should be sorcerers. They shouldn't be smart people. Yeah, they made a lot of Philosopher's Stone games, which, I mean, it makes sense. It's the start of the franchise. You can't just do like Dragon Ball and have your only game be at the Cell Saga. You gotta start somewhere. Alright, this next one is from Game Fan. Volume 8, Issue 8, released in August of 2000. Schwa. This is another
Time for a buzz.
Harry.
That is that is Jet Set Radio.
Correct.
Wow.
You nailed it right
I
from
see
the
it.
get-go.
I see it now.
Yeah, as we get closer and closer.
Oh.
Some very nice artwork, but the logo in the top left corner really does stand out. It's incredibly iconic, but that one is incredibly good. Big fan of this one. E3 Overload. 60 pages of coverage. That's over 350 games previewed.
That's so many. It's a great
So
value. It
many.
even says so.
It even says so. 3 E's, 60 pages. Amen. No, I'm a big fan of Game Fan. There was a point where they just started doing a ton of original art, and it's always cool and over the top like this.
I'm a fan of them putting Neo Geo Pocket Color right on the top of their magazine.
Yeah. Out of all, like, they don't even have like any of the Game Boys up there, but
No,
they got the
they got Neo Geo Pocket Color.
Yeah, and anime.
They're smart to do so. And
Hell yeah.
anime.
Hell yeah.
Who doesn't love anime? Alright, moving on. This was from another Japanese magazine called Arcadia, Volume 3, which released in April of 2000. Boom. Eyes V.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Absolutely.
San
I see
doesn't
Sun right
miss.
there.
Yeah.
San, Amingo, and Ruby Heart all riding the cover. Incredible artwork on this one too. It's so clean, so nice.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I don't know, it might be just that Arcadia was big with fighting game coverage, or at least I know a lot of early tier lists would have Arcadia
Right.
Mhm.
on there.
I think
on their-
Arcadia was
Okay.
like heavy into fighters.
Makes sense. Just if I can just go off of their name, I imagine they're very arcade centric and what was bigger at the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, big fan of this one. The colors are so nice. All the art is, all the characters look really well done, and it's awesome that they got like the new Capcom characters as like the spotlight. Like I don't even, Ryu is like way tucked in the back next to Guile and Zangief. Not a single Marvel character though. Now that I'm really looking at it.
They might not have had the rights to put Marvel characters on the magazine.
So true. All right. Well, we've got one more in this segment. And this was from Girls of Gaming, Volume 1. So this is the very first Girl of Gaming ever, released in January of 2004.
That's
Professor
Blood
Bloom.
Rain.
Yeah.
That's Blood Rain, baby. There she is. This magazine is just nothing but like stock images of characters of women in from different video games. It was kind of maddening that it existed because it wasn't even they were all just like pre-made renders that they just threw on pages or something.
Like
It
it wasn't even
wasn't.
original art.
No, they didn't commission art or anything. They just sort of stockpiled a whole bunch of crazy, like, just video game girls from every video game imaginable.
I'd call it a guilty pleasure, but I did really like Blood Rain.
You know, I feel like there's something there with Blood Rain. There's a certain charm that's maybe not necessarily in the gameplay, but it's got a charm.
I mean, look, I was a teenage boy. It was aimed squarely at me.
Understandable. I need to give it another shot. I've only played it like a little bit, and I was enjoying it at the time, like weirdly enough, but it didn't necessarily stick with me. It didn't keep me coming back. But maybe Miss Blood Rain deserves better. She got a sequel and then like some other strange like 2D side scroller game way later.
And a movie, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uwe Boll movie.
Yeah. Hot take. Most Uwe Boll films are they're not terrible. They're workable. You know,
They're workable.
no,
Put
'cause,
that on
like,
the poster.
you rent one and you're like, yeah, it's not good, but you had a fun time watching it with your friends.
And then isn't that what it's all about?
I think the Blood Rain movie had like real actors in it, though.
Whoa. Well, isn't the postal game an absolute sin against humanity? Postal movie.
Hold on, I just
Huh?
looked it up. The Blood Rain movie has Ben Kingsley in it. Like, Academy Award winning Ben Kingsley.
And I bet he played the game too.
Michelle Rodriguez is in there. Meatloaf was in it for some reason. I gotta watch the Blood Rain movie. This sounds
Gotta
really-
watch the Blood Rain movie, clearly. If Meatloaf is showing up, then, you know, anything can happen.
I'm there.
We can stream this afterwards, right? I don't think anybody cares about the rights to the Blood Rain movie on Twitch.
Yeah, a special feature. We'll just put it up on the monitor up top there. Alright, well that concludes cover stories. So far, Professor Bloom holding on to the lead, but we've still got a few rounds left, so who knows what could happen. coming up next. In this is a brand new segment to Archive Attack, never before seen ever.
Brand
Um,
new world
and-
debut.
World premiere. And I'm coming up with the name for this segment on the fly as we speak. What are you selling me? We're going to be taking a look at a bunch of old advertisements for video games. If you're familiar with old retro
yeah.
advertisements, seldom did they ever
Let's
actually
go.
explain what you were buying. And we're going to be taking a look at some of those old shots. And I have taken the liberty to doctor out any actual screenshots or direct name drops to make sure that we're just going solely on what they were trying to sell you. So
I'm sure there are plenty where you didn't even need to remove screenshots.
So yeah, this will be yet another buzz-in round. Each one will be worth 2 points. If it's a game, or if you can get the series, and it's a game that's part of a series, then that'll be 2 points for you. If you can get the exact game, that'll get you 3 points. Not every one of these questions will be like multi-series games, but if you do get the exact game from the series, then I'll give you 3. But even if it's not, if like say you say Crash Bandicoot 2 and it's Crash Bandicoot 3, I would still give you 2 points. But if you can get the exact game, that's your bonus point. If nobody can figure out, I'll try to toss you a hint or two, and then whatever's left from there, we'll dish out a single point. So we can get this one underway. Sweet. Okay, cool. Just making sure I got that set up properly. Boop. So, this first one here, take a look. We've got a lot of disgruntled superheroes who are not happy with the world around them.
So,
Ivy.
Is it Blasto?
That is correct.
oh, good old
Oop,
Blasto.
wrong
Rest
button.
in peace, Phil Hartman.
Rest in peace. That is Blasto. All of these crazy, kooky characters, they hate him. Big fan of what kind of superhero hangs around with floozies. A superhero should eat his protein, not ride around on it. Some superhero, he doesn't even know the definition of fearless and courageous. Insane. But I guess,
I
if
gotta
you...
stream Blasto now.
Oh, Bloom, no, don't do that to yourself.
I gotta.
You do, but you shouldn't. But you do have to do it, is the thing. Oh, it's a game. That much I can say. Alright, let's take a look at this next one here. Dead meat. Enjoy it wherever you go, because blank is now on the Game Boy.
This is a truly... Now, I do have a question. Are these all ads for games, or are any for, like, accessories?
If it's an accessory, I will let you know it's an accessory. But
Okay.
Otherwise, it is a game itself. Do you know, not only do they have Game Boys down there, they do got the Super Game Boy hanging out as well.
Is there any detail on any of those stakes there? Does it say anything? 'Cause I can't quite read that. I don't know if we're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to.
They're pretty blurry, but it's mostly
Okay,
Let's see,
I've got a
flank-
guess.
okay.
Is this Killer Instinct?
Correct.
Oh.
Killer. I keep hitting the wrong button. Blood Rain, get out of here.
No, you
Yes,
can
this
stay Blood
is
Rain.
Killer Instinct on the Game Boy. Fun fact: if you play this one on the Super Game Boy, you can play proper 2-player on it.
Yeah.
If you're so interested. But yeah, there's flanks of full gore, and truthfully, no matter how much I scroll in, the other ones don't really.
Right. I could
they
read
don't
the
make
Play It
themselves
Loud
out.
sticker, but that was just their
Mhm.
Game Boy slogan back then.
Of course, that doesn't help at all, unfortunately.
But I remember
but-
they advertised a bunch of fighting games with the Super Game Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a surprisingly fun fighting game, for like 2 buttons on such interesting hardware. I think it works well, and I'm not biased because it's a game that I had as a kid. But I liked it. Alright. Nicely done, Bloom. Let's take a look at the next one. Spare your capillaries, play the game! You'll notice on the bottom there, this was released for PlayStation and Sega Saturn. If you are having trouble reading that text, I can read it along for everybody. It is pretty small.
What does it say, if you don't mind?
Yeah. Shelve the puny human routine. It's pulverize or be pulverized. When you become this mean green fighting machine. Professor Bloom.
That's the Incredible Hulk.
Correct. Do you know, for a bonus point, do you know the specific Incredible Hulk game?
Hold on. It was PlayStation and Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
It's something. I know it's the Incredible Hulk, not just
Mhm.
like the Hulk. I don't remember the full title.
No worries. High Blood Rain. That is the Incredible Hulk Pantheon Saga. The classic video game, the Pantheon Saga, a game that everybody knows and remembers.
It's pretty fun. You like smash through walls and glass and stuff.
Yeah. So, Eidos, they were pumping out a lot of different stuff back in the day. It's
Everything.
pretty okay. The boy turning green is quite alarming. But other than that, fairly normal. The render of him in the bottom right is very funny, though.
That's exactly what he's like in the game too.
Mm-hmm. It's quite awesome. Alright. Nicely done there. We'll move on to the next one.
Oh.
You don't have to pretend anymore. And this is the only one that's like cropped a little weirdly, but Bloom.
Is this Gallop Racer?
Correct.
Yeah. By
And
Tecmo on the PlayStation.
once again, for a bonus point, would you like to try to guess the specific
Gallop Racer 2000.
Ooh, we were looking. High Blood Rain. We were looking for Gallop Racer 2001.
Damn.
You don't have to pretend anymore. But who else is gonna be racing horses, Classic. This one just caught me off guard so much. If you've never played these games, they have a stellar OST.
They're super fun.
They're fun, the music's great. It's kind of surprising, all things considered, but they made a good horse racing game.
They make tons of them.
Yeah,
I have
one
the
every
one
year.
I have the one on PS1. Gonna have to get this
yeah.
one now. I need to go to next gen.
Yeah, you don't have to play pretend anymore. 2001 has come. Alrighty, moving on. On a good day, only 2.5 billion people will die. Bloom.
That is MDK Murder Death Kill.
Correct.
Specifically MDK 2, I think. Or no, that's one. It's one.
Yes, this is just MDK1. But nicely done.
That game's awesome,
You-
by the way.
You knew that one.
I have that one.
I a crazy thing to put in your magazine on a good day. Only 2.5 billion people will die. Insanely violent advertising. We've come so far from Simon Belmont holding Dracula's head. It thinks, therefore it kills. So real, so true.
By Shiny, the same folks behind Earthworm Jim.
Incredible. That like sort of
explains
makes
a lot.
sense. It's kind of surprising that it makes sense, but it does make sense.
And the PlayStation port was done by Neversoft, who would then go on to make Tony Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Tony Hawk, Spider-Man. That's it.
A lot
That's
of
it.
good games before they... I think they eventually got, like, forced into the Call of Duty minds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they really just sort of fell apart under there, which is crazy unfortunate. Alright, next one coming up. This one is a accessory. It is not a video game. Friends don't let friends play unprotected.
Play hard, you're covered. This is pretty funny.
Too often people lose their lives or damage their health for no reason. Responsibly select from pre-programmed or easily updated codes for infinite health, endless ammo, extra speed. Ivy.
Was this for the Game Shark?
Correct! We've got the Game Shark with an insane
Oh.
condom advertising.
PS1 Game Shark.
That's correct.
That if you have
Fits-
a later model one, you just have nowhere to plug it in.
Yeah, if you have a slim, you're boned, you're done.
Not even just a slim. Later model fat PlayStations don't have the serial
That's-
port on the back.
You have a Game Shark emo?
Yeah, I don't know
That's
why.
incredible.
That's sick.
Well, thanks for not letting us play unprotected, Ivy. Alrighty. Next one up.
Wow, all the rest of the text is also super suggestive.
Oh yeah, no, it's all ridiculous.
Like,
Rule the
provide
hottest
extra
games and-
endurance to keep you going.
Mm-hmm. Play hard, you're covered. Insane.
What an advertisement.
They love sex. Sex sells.
Sex
And we
sells
really
what?
need to sell our cheating device. Alright, next one coming up. Every hunter needs a nice gun rack. Ivy.
Is it Ace Combat?
Correct. For
Let me
a
guess,
bonus
4?
point. This was Ace Combat 3. Hi, Blood Rain. Ace Combat 3, I'm afraid. Electrosphere.
They took out the story for Electrosphere and then made that advertisement instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I didn't think 3 came out because they did that translation. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
It came out, they just cut out like half the game in the West.
The entirety of the story mode is just gone. It's insane. So you're just doing random flying missions. They did not want anime in the West, and they're fools for doing that. I saw
Still fun though.
Still fun. I saw Tristy Alacria stream this game, like with all the Japanese stuff reinserted with like English subtitles and stuff, and it's insane to think that they removed all of that.
Yeah, this is one of those crazy games that's in that secret Namco timeline of all their space games.
Yeah. They're
Like it ties into the
secret
Xevious timeline, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Does that
For
mean
some
everything in
reason.
Strange Reel ties into Xevious?
I thought it was only this game.
It might only be this game.
Who's to say? Namco is a confusing company to say the least.
But the
All
real
right.
question is, does it tie into Druaga?
Ooh, probably.
You'll have to find
We
the
can find
timeline
a
yourself.
way.
Yeah.
Alongside Dig Dug, of course. Alright.
Dig Dug is the glue holding the universe together.
As soon as his hose runs out of air, it's over. Right, and B1. B1. It's an N64 game. I think Ivy just got there.
I was gonna say this NBA hang time.
No, unfortunately, no NBA here.
Is this Cruisin' Exotica? Or one of the Cruisin' titles?
It is Cruisin', yes. But we were looking
Cruisin'
for
World?
Cruisin' the World.
Yeah.
You can be one, just like Cruisin', you know. You know.
Be one.
Just be one.
Be one.
You know. Be one.
Gotta be
16
a real
exotic
hot
cars.
dog.
15 foreign countries to race through them, and enough tricks to turn anybody into a hot dog.
Yeah, be one.
I love cars. Yes.
It's like, hey boss, I made the ad just like you wanted, with a big hot dog. 2-page spread.
Marketing was a totally different science back in the day.
It is insane that
Really
this
more
is a
of an art
2-page
than a
spread.
Just imagine you're flipping the pages of your game magazine and you just see B1.
Mm-hmm. It's nuts. Oh yeah, the theme song for Cruising the World is one of the best songs ever made. It's so good. Big fan. Alright, next up, we've got this one. It's all in the wrist, or in the jugular if it's a quick death you're going for. Professor Bloom.
Is this Mace?
No, sorry,
Damn.
this is not Mace. The Dark Ages.
That
But it
game's
is a
so-
Nintendo 64 game. But why not make them suffer first? Try a steel girder to the ribs. Or how about a fire extinguisher to the kidneys? Of course, there's always the good old bullet to the kneecaps. We love violence. Sell violence. In fact, on these inner city streets, almost everything can become a torturous can of whoop-ass, and once you open it, there's no stopping the killer 3D action or bone-crushing moves. Ivy, Airy, got any ideas?
You got the foggiest fucking idea.
None whatsoever. No.
It was a 1997 beat-em-up game, if that helps. It was also released for the PlayStation 1. Ivy.
You said Fighting Force?
Correct!
Uh-huh.
That's high blood rain. That
Low
was
blood rain.
Fighting Force. They were really banging on the violence there.
I didn't think that game was that violent.
It's not.
It's not. But that's gotta be like false advertising, huh? But
Kind of fun though.
that's Fighting Force. Yeah, no, it's like again another Eidos one. They're just banging it out. They made a lot of interesting titles back then.
That one was even core design too.
Mm-hmm. And this is the last one for our advertisement segment, so lock in, everybody. For temporary relief of Dragon's Breath, monster pain, or battle fatigue, take 2 as often as needed. Got Konami on there, PlayStation.
Time for a buzz.
Harry.
Vandal Hearts.
No, I'm sorry.
I was
You're
also
not looking
thinking
for
that.
Vandal Hearts.
It's gotta be something like super out of pocket.
Ivy.
Azure Dreams.
No, I'm sorry. Not what we're looking for. Was that one Konami? Bloom.
Suikoden?
Correct!
What?
It's like we're run out of our Konami RPGs.
I know.
Mhm. Suikoden 2.
What
Take
the-
2 as often as needed.
Oh, 2. Right.
2,
yeah.
of course. That's right. Suikoden 2. Of course. This wrinkled old hand with these awesome Advil medallions. Alrighty. Bada bing, bada boom. Those are rooms. That's right. That's right. But that is our advertisement segment so far. Bloom in the lead with 48, Eisv 30. Airy, you've got a bit of catching up to do, but hey, never say never, right? We've got one more exciting round, the final round, another staple of Archive Attack around these parts. And this is Chart Toppers. Let me get that all down and bring up my top 10. We're going to be taking a look at top 10 lists from different magazines. Where I'll tell you guys what the magazine was, what the actual top 10 list is, you know, with the year and everything in mind, and you will have to try to fill out this board, a la, you know, Family Feud style.
Survey says.
You got it. You understand. And let me change the tunes up for our final round here with Chart Toppers. So let's see. We're going to start out with Hyper Magazine, Australia's finest. This was from issue number 166, which debuted in August of 2007, though this was a retrospective top 10. This is Hyper's top 10 Dreamcast games of all times. The top number 1 answer will be worth 5 points. Number 2 will be worth 3. Number 2 will be worth 2 points. And then every other question will get you an extra point. We're going to be taking turns this time around, and we'll start with you, Airy, and then we'll go, I guess, clockwork to Airy, Bloom, Eisv in that order. Everybody gets 3 strikes, so get it wrong 3 times, then you'll just be out until the next top 10 board. So with that all out of the way, Airy, what do you think Australia's finest gaming magazine considers to be a top 10 Dreamcast RPG?
Grandia 2.
No, I'm afraid Grandia 2 did not make the list.
I don't believe that.
Blame Australia, don't look at me.
Wait, is the list just RPGs? Because you said RPG.
Did I?
You definitely said
You
RPGs.
did.
Yeah.
First
It
you
is
said
not just
top 10
RPG.
Dreamcast games, then you said top 10 RPG.
Why did I say that?
I don't
Airy?
don't know.
I'll let you go again because I fucked up. It is just top 10 Dreamcast games. Period.
Okay, top 10 Dreamcast games.
My
Marvel,
mistake.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Correct. Marvel and MVC2 was their third favorite Dreamcast video game. So that's going to be some extra points for Airy. Bada bing, bada boom. Alright, Bloom, you're up.
I'm gonna say Soul Calibur.
Ding, 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 ding. Soul Calibur was their number 1.
All
by
right.
I knew it.
far.
I knew it.
Their
It had to
favorite.
be. It had to
Their
be.
favorite game for the Dreamcast, Soul Calibur. Eisv, over to you.
Sonic Adventure 2.
No, I'm afraid Sonic Adventure 2 did not make the cut. Airy, back to you.
Is Skies of Arcadia on there?
No, unfortunately.
I'm gonna go burn down Hyper Magazine. That should be there.
No Sonic Adventure 2 and no Skies of Arcadia.
Unbelievable.
They're probably like, well, I could play the GameCube version instead. That's probably what their headspace was at. But I don't know. Depending on what you guys think about their other answers, might surprise you. But we're back over to you, Bloom.
I'm gonna say Crazy Taxi.
No, surprisingly.
What is wrong with
Surprisingly.
Australia?
It's a wild wasteland out there. Izzy, back to you. You got one strike.
Power Stone 2?
Surprisingly, no. No Power Stone 2. Airy, back to you. One strike.
All right, I'm gonna guess Resident Evil Code Veronica.
Correct. That was their 8th most popular favorite Dreamcast game of all time. Over to you, Professor Bloom.
This is a confusing list so far. It started out pretty normal, but then the stuff that's not on there.
It's kind of baffling, but this was them with a few years of retrospective, and they just decided what was
Right.
best.
I'm gonna say one that I don't know if they'll put on the list, but they should. And I still have one strike after this, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna say Sega Bass Fishing.
No, unfortunately,
That-
no Sega Bass Fishing.
That should be there.
It really should. Izv, you've got 2 strikes now, so be careful.
If I'm going on, I'm taking Australia with me. It's Shenmue on the list.
Correct.
Okay,
Shenmue is number 2, and it really would be worthy to throw a fit had they not put Shenmue on this list. With all the others that are missing, if Shenmue wasn't here, they didn't play the Dreamcast. All right, Ari, back to you. Still only on 1 strike.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of Dreamcast games I played as a kid. Project Justice.
No, unfortunately, no
Oh.
Project Justice. Bloom, last chance.
I almost don't want to get like too in my own head about it. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause I'm,
No, for sure.
you know what?
Let's-
I'm gonna say Sonic Adventure 1.
There you go. Sonic Adventure 1 barely creeping in at number 10.
I can think
Just
of like
barely
30
nailed
games
it.
I would put on the list ahead of Sonic Adventure, but
But he's the iconic guy. Alright. So that is extra for Bloom. Izv, back to you. 2 strikes.
Virtua Tennis?
No, unfortunately.
Bummer.
No virtual tennis. So you'll have to sit this one out until the next one. Ari, back to you.
I am really drawing a blank here. That's really sad. I can't even think of 10 Dreamcast games. 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker.
that game's sick.
It is.
No, unfortunately. I
Well,
would
no-
be
no
surprised
taste
if they even had that in Australia. Bloom?
I'm taking a bit of a swing with this one, but it really, I mean, I think it's great. I don't
Okay.
know what Australia thinks. I'm going to say NBA 2K.
No, unfortunately. And I believe that's it for everybody. We're all on 3 strikes if I'm doing my math right. So let's see what else Hyper thought was the top of the list, top of the line Dreamcast games. Virtual Fighter 3 TB.
That's a bad port.
Metropolis Street Racer.
Okay, that,
What
no,
even?
that one's pretty. That one's pretty sick.
Pretty sick. Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio, whichever you prefer. Rez. I had never heard of this one.
Oh, Rez
I
is
had to
awesome.
look it up.
I think of it
I
more
was-
for PS2, but it's a great
Yeah.
game.
And Ikaruga.
Ooh.
I'm shocked they would put that on a top 10 list. And
Yeah.
I have a rant
Hype-
about Ikaruga, even though it's a game I really like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just that non-shmup fans hold it up as this like amazing shmup because it's the only one they've played. And that's why it ends up on lists like this. Same thing with like Radiant Silvergun on Saturn, where like, yeah, it's a great game, but you got to play other shmups. I know the other ones are hard, but like, you should play them.
Yeah, very, very fascinating list. You would think they would try to go for more Dreamcast exclusive titles here, right? Like, but I don't know. That's Hyper
I'm
for you.
shocked
That's
that
Australia.
No Crazy Taxi or Daytona. No sports titles at all.
No sports at all. No Space Channel 5. Really?
No Fantasy Star.
No Phantasy Star. Not a lot of like the actual Sega games. But that was Hyper for you. Crazy guys.
Is that magazine still in business?
They went out. I believe they went under
Good.
about a decade ago. But let's see. I believe I've got this set up. High Blood Rain. This time it was on purpose. Oh no, I didn't have them here. Never mind. Sorry. I thought I did, but I don't. Anyway, that was Blood Rain. Just one more for fun.
We like Blood Rain.
We like Blood Rain.
She's basically the show's
awesome.
mascot at this point.
Yeah. There you go. That's your Vanna White. You just get Blood Rain to do that.
So true.
Brilliant.
Alrighty. Next up, we've got. Let's see. This was Total Gamer, the Canadian magazine. This was their best games of all time, no console restriction, or the best games of 2002.
Wait, is it just the best games of 2002? Or is it what they think are the best games of all time circa 2002?
The best games of 2002.
Okay.
So if a game here isn't actually from 2002, blame it on them because I'm just giving you what they wrote. But let's see. Bloom, I believe you went last time. So Isvi, would you like to start us off? One of the best 2002 classic video games.
Warcraft 3?
I was about to say, and I'll let this one slide, that there are no PC video games on this list. But
console only.
Console only. I was about to mention that before you spoke up, so I'll let you go again.
Super Mario Sunshine.
Correct. It is surprisingly only number 8, but
Is it
it's up there.
surprising?
It's on the board. I like Mario Sunshine. I'm a fan of Mario Sunshine. I don't know about you, but I'm a fan. Ari, 2002 gaming. What do you got?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Bada bing, bada boom. It's up there at number 3, so that nets Ari an extra 2 big ones. Alrighty, Bloom, over to you.
2002.
I know, it's a scary world.
Metroid Prime?
Metroid Prime, are you there? Bada
Survey
bing, bada
says.
boom.
Okay.
Number 5. So far, so good. Nobody's got a strike. We're all killing it so far. Wonderful work. Isvi, back to you.
Vice City.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Is it on the board? There it is, number 2. Big one. Grand Theft Auto had, Grand Theft Auto 3 had taken the world by storm, so Vice City was a shoo-in to be like a big deal. Ari, back to you.
I'm gonna put in Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Morrowind, huh? Did that one make the list? Let's find out. There it is, Morrowind number 7. Again, you guys know 2002. We haven't dropped a single one yet. Don't break the chain now, Bloom.
I'm gonna break the chain, because I'm trying to think what else came out in 2002 and how much do I trust the taste of this Total Gamer?
They are Canadian. Do keep that in mind.
I don't know. I don't know if I can trust him. I'm gonna say Star Fox Adventures.
Star Fox Adventures. Are you there, Star Fox? No, unfortunately, there's no Star Fox. That's strike number 1 for Bloom. Ivy, back to you.
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell. Are you on that list, Splinter Cell? Number
Whoa!
1, their favoriteest game of 2002. A big whopping 5 points for Ivy there. They were enthralled by Splinter Cell. I guess it's just the
Splinter
next
Cell's good, but let's calm down here.
Yeah.
over Vice City, over Kingdom Hearts. Big one. Harry, back to you.
I'll go with Zelda Wind Waker.
Wind Waker, Wind Waker. Are we there, Wind Waker? Show me Wind Waker! No Wind Waker, unfortunately.
Wasn't that 2003?
I believe so? I'm not sure, but it's not on this list. Oh yeah, it says right here on the side of this page, games to watch for in 2003, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. It's
Oh.
Super Mario 128. 128's coming, you
128.
guys! It's
People
coming!
People still thought it was coming. They really wanted it.
Star Wars
question.
Galaxies and Empire Divided? That didn't happen. What's up?
And I don't know if you can answer this. Does this include handheld games?
No, these are just console titles.
Okay. So it is my turn now, right?
Yes, back to you.
Okay. Because I was trying to think, because I had said Metroid Prime and I was thinking Metroid Fusion as well, but if we're not
Mhm.
counting handhelds,
Yeah, no, there's no handheld on this list.
what else came out in 2002 as part of the...
Yeah, we've got more than half of the board filled, so there's not a
Oh,
lot
we've
left.
We've got a lot here. I don't know if this was 2001 or 2002. Gran Turismo 3?
Gran Turismo. Did you make it on the board, Gran Turismo? Let's see. No, unfortunately.
That might have
No
been
Gran
2001.
Turismo. Nah, yeah, I believe so. I believe Melee was also 2001 Gotetsu. Because that was a very early GameCube title.
Right, that was a launch
I-
window.
Yes. Ivy, back to you.
Like Cooper out by then?
Was Sly Cooper out by then? Only one way to find out. Show me Sly Cooper! No, unfortunately. No Sly Cooper. Remind me, honor system here. Was that your first or second strike?
I think that was my first.
Okay, I thought so too. I wasn't
I'm the
100%,
only one on,
but
on 2 strikes.
that's right, that's right. Ari, back to you.
Oh, this is gonna be tough.
And only a few more to go.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think we might have gone over all the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Onimusha 2.
Onimusha 2. Are you there, Onimusha? No, unfortunately. Alright, so back to Bloom. 2 strikes, 1 shot left.
I'm gonna say the Resident Evil remake on GameCube.
Ooh, good answer, good answer. Let's see if Resident Evil made the board. No, unfortunately.
Oh, come
No
on.
Resident Evil to be
Really?
found here. Alright, Bloom, you'll have to sit this one out until the
Oh,
next
dang.
bracket. Ivy, back to you.
Do I have to note the number? Because I was thinking it was the Tony Hawk game for that year.
Mm-hmm. I think with how many Tony Hawk games there are, we are gonna have to ask for a
Note the number.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 4?
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Are you up there, Tony? Big Tony, let me hear from ya. There you are.
Wow.
That's another point for Icevy, and good going. Like, there were a lot of Tony Hawks in that generation. Like
Tony
Pro
Hawk
Skater 3, 4.
Good, but really, no Resident Evil.
Yeah, it's mysterious.
Maybe it was too scary for Canada. They don't really seem to have horror games on here. Metroid Prime is as close as you get. Ari, back to you. I believe this is your last shot.
I'm gonna go with Time Splitters 2.
Time Splitters 2. Let's see, did that one make the cut? No, sorry.
No taste.
No taste.
Good game.
All right, Icevy, it's just you now. So if you can steamroll, you can take the rest of the board.
That was gonna be my last guess. Was Time Splitters 2.
Funny how that worked out. "2002, a mysterious year. That's 23 years ago."
Just like, I'm thinking of the games I played in high school.
Yeah, that's-
Not a lot of them made this list.
Yeah, what's going on in that noggin of yours?
I'm trying to think of what Spider-Man was out that year. It's too early for 2, but I don't think Spider-Man 1 was out yet.
Was Spider-Man 1 out that time?
That's
I'm
the year
fine.
that movie came out.
Yeah.
They do, you know, they did like to coincide those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Nice.
so much so where if you play the game, you're like, wow, this is not like the movie. It's almost like the script wasn't done when they made this game. But they had to release at the same time, right?
Yeah, let's throw out Spider-Man 1 then.
Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire's finest. Are you there, Pete? Let's hear from you. No, unfortunately. No Spider-Man, period. The rest of the board we're looking at was Virtual Fighter 4,
Okay.
Tiger Woods 2003,
Okay, Tiger Woods 2003 is really good, though.
Okay.
comparative to like other years of Tiger Woods.
Yeah, genuinely. It's really
Huh?
good.
Okay. You're the golf gamer, so I'll trust your
am.
input on like anything golf oriented. And SOCOM US Navy SEALs was number 4.
SOCOM
They
was
were
sick.
big, yeah, because it was like a big
like
deal
one of
for
the first big
PlayStation's
online
online.
games, too.
Yeah, the online scene I think was really what drove it up so high.
The microphone I have for my PS2 is because of SOCOM.
Oh, now you can play Lifeline.
I plan to. I have
Wonderful.
it.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. All right. So this next one we're going to be taking a look at. This is from that Super Play 1993 magazine. This one is only a top 5, so there are only 5 answers on the board, but same rules apply.
is
Top
the-
one's number 1.
The Portuguese magazine?
This was UK, actually.
UK, okay. Oh, the
UK.
Super Nintendo focused one.
Yes, so only expect Super Nintendo here. And do keep in mind that when I say this is Super Play Gold's top 5 beat-em-ups, remember what a beat-em-up means in Europe, because it is not quite what we in America would associate it
Don't
to.
trust the English.
What year is this again, just for quick clarification?
Yeah, Super Play Gold in 1993. So you've got a couple years of Super Nintendo under your belt. We're gonna start with Airy. Super Nintendo, 1993, top 5 beat 'em ups. What are we
So I
looking
can't think like a usual beat 'em up like we would, like a not a belt scroller.
at? It could be anything with them. I've read a lot of magazines over the years, and they've described a lot of different games as beat 'em ups.
Well, I'm gonna take a wild guess and go with Super Street Fighter 2.
Street Fighter 2. Are you there, Street Fighter 2? Of course it is. It's the fighting video game of all time. That was the only fighting game that people knew on the thing. It's not true, but Street Fighter 2, that's the guy, number one. It couldn't have been anything else. Bloom, over to you.
Now, they usually mean fighting game for beat 'em up, but 1993, there were not that many one-on-one fighters on the SNES yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there were plenty of beat 'em ups, like belt scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with one of those and say Turtles in Time.
Turtles in Time. Are you there, Turtles? Leo, Mikey, Donnie, Raph, are you up there? There they are.
Okay, so they're just playing fast and loose with beat 'em up as a term.
Absolutely. They don't believe in the English language. Isby, back to you.
I'm going to go with Aries' line of thinking and say Mortal Kombat 2.
Mortal Kombat 2. With all those fantastic characters, Johnny Cage and Raiden and so on and so forth. Are you there? No, unfortunately. No Mortal Kombat 2. Back to Airy. What do we got?
Yeah, those are like the two big ones, because like Killer Instinct would not have been out yet. Final Fight?
Final Fight. Good answer. That was a very early Super Nintendo game. But did it make the board? Did Mike Hagar pile drive onto the top 5? No, unfortunately. No Mike Hagar to be seen.
Jeez, unbelievable.
So
Back to you,
what-
Bloom.
What are they looking for? Beat 'em up. I'm trying to think. I mean, the first Mortal Kombat would have been out, but that kind of sucks. So I don't think it would be on the top 5. We know Pit Fighter's not on there. They gave that a 14%.
They gave that a 14.
I'm trying to...
Let
Is
it
it
be
gonna
known I
be-
could have had you guys doing top 5 underwater bits.
Oh, God.
Please no.
Number 2 was the Addams Family and Pugly Scavenger Hunt, by the way,
Oh,
for best
you know
underwater
what?
bits.
I'm gonna go with 2D fighting game, not belt scroller. Street Combat?
Street Combat. Are you up on the board, Street Combat? Let's see. No, unfortunately. No Street Combat.
That was
Back to
just
you,
the,
Isv. What's that?
No.
I'm trying to remember what Double Dragon was the Super Nintendo one.
I think there were 2 Double Dragons,
are
correct?
2
Yeah, on Super Nintendo.
It would be Super Double Dragons, right?
That's a video game on the Super Nintendo. But did it crack the top 5 beat 'em ups of 1993? No, unfortunately. That's gonna be your second strike, ISV. Be more careful next time.
I refuse.
Airy, back to you. Only got 1 strike, but so far so good.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to be really careful with this. Fatal Fury?
Fatal Fury, Terry Bogard, Mai Shiranui. Did either of them crack the top? Let's see. No, unfortunately, no Fatal Fury.
Wow.
No fun fists of flying from those guys. Bloom, back over to you.
How about thinking of? Now I'm trying to think of belt scrollers.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fight didn't make the list. Now, is this of games released in 1993 or by 1993?
This is by 1993.
What ones were because a lot of the ones I'm thinking of didn't come out till later.
Mm-hmm.
There's one I'm trying to remember the name.
Mm-hmm.
It's got really obnoxious box art.
I
can
think
see it in my
I think
mind's
I
eye.
might know what you're thinking of. Maybe. I mean, a lot of games had pretty obnoxious box
It's
art
like,
back then.
hey, punk, are you tough enough?
Are you tough? Oh no, we lost eyes, V. Uh-oh. Oh, you're back. That was scary.
My bad.
Yeah, looks like ISV. Are you tough enough to be on top of that list? Let's see.
Uh-oh.
Dead
kidding me.
Dance / Tough Enough. Released
So
in
that
the
one
UK
is
as
a-
Dead Dance.
That one is a fighting game, though, not a belt scroller.
Well,
So I don't know if they just really liked TMNT enough to say, like, we don't care if it's not the same type of game.
well, they liked it more than TMNT.
That's
So
surprising.
that's something to somebody. Oh, Isvi, back over to you. Last shot.
Yeah,
Make it count.
fucking Battletoads and Double Dragons.
Battletoads and Double Dragons, the combination of America's finest, funniest friends. Did they make it on top of this list? No, I'm afraid not. That was your last strike this round, Isvi. Alright, Ari, over to you. You're on strike 2 as well, so be careful.
Running short of ideas here. King of Dragons.
King of Dragons, ooh.
It's kind of a sick game.
It's kind of a sick game, but let's see if the UK thought it was sick enough to make the list. No, unfortunately.
UK, come on.
Come on, guys. Back over to you, Bloom, and you've only got one strike, so
We got one strike,
2 answers left on the
I'm-
board.
and we're half and half between fighting games and belt scroller. I'll choose another belt scroller. Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a
It's the
Konami
Konami one.
Yeah.
That's a Konami classic, but did they nail it? There it is.
Okay.
The more
What
they
the
liked
hell
it
is
more
this
than
list?
Turtles in Time. All right,
What's this list?
there's one left, and you got
Okay.
2 shots for it.
This was there
Mm-hmm.
at this point. Final Fight 2.
Final Fight 2, the sequel with what was
Guy.
it, the kid's name? Is that
I
the
don't
one with the skatey? Was that his name?
That's Streets of Rage 2.
Right. Right.
Bare Knuckle.
Bare Knuckle. All right,
Which is
Final Fight 2.
Better than any beat 'em up on Super Nintendo.
True.
Are you there? No luck there, I'm afraid. But you got one last shot to clutch it out.
One last shot. And they're half belt scrollers, half fighting games.
So if it could be
It
Legend
could
of
go
Zelda
an-
for all
it
we
could-
know.
It could be anything where you beat something up.
Yeah.
But it's not either of the Double Dragons. It's not either of the Final Fights that were out by this point.
Mm-hmm.
TMNT Tournament Fighter isn't out till 94. I'm really drawing a blank at this point. What other...
What other
don't-
video
I don't
games
think
exist?
any of the SNK ports were out by 93. And Ari already guessed Fatal Fury.
That's correct.
I'm running out of fighting games to think of. Can I, like, look at my Super Nintendo shelf behind me? Is that allowed? No, that's cheating. I'm just gonna guess something. It wasn't out yet, but Weapon Lord.
Weapon Lord. Did Weapon Lord make the cut? Let's see. No Weapon Lord
It
here.
didn't come out till 1995.
We were looking for, and get this, Ranma 1/2.
I've got to raise an objection. Street Combat is Ranma 1/2.
What?
Yeah, we
Street
never
Combat.
got that.
It's literally Ranma 1/2.
Street Combat?
Yeah, they completely reskinned the video game.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. It's Jalico in the U.S.
All right. I didn't know that. So I will contest. I will give you your point, Professor Bloom.
And I had thrown that out there as like a wild guess because it sucks. But
It does suck. That game's
Yeah, it's pretty
freaking
bad.
garbage.
I'm no closer to understanding what they really consider a beat 'em up at this point.
I see. Oh, we're getting some contention in the chat. There's Ranma 1/2 Hard Battle and Street Combat. Those are there are two.
Oh yeah, there are
Ranma
two
games?
Ranma games.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
right.
if that one's Hard Battle, then it's not Street Combat. So I'd take my point away.
Yes.
Whichever.
Ranma. Yes.
Which
I
one
mean,
is
it literally just says Ranma 1/2. They didn't throw a picture or anything, but if that one did Street Combat come out in the UK? Let's see. No,
Or
it
is
did
it-
not. So it must
Is
be
it
Hard
the
Battle.
Same.
No. I'm not seeing a release for this one in UK. So I'm going to assume that means Hard Battle. So we are rescinding your
Okay,
point.
they're talking about Hard Battle. That's fair.
Yes.
There-
And I will
there's
say that
multiple names.
they tied this one, but I didn't put on there because this one didn't come out in America. But Dragon Ball Z Part 2 was also on the list as like a
Of
tie.
course.
Oh, was
Of
that
course.
Super?
I didn't
Super
include-
Butoden?
Super Butoden 2, yeah. But
Weirdly
So-
beloved entry in the
Mhm.
Budokan series.
Fun thing with that, it got one international release
Mhm.
as a downloadable bonus with Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden
Yes.
for the 3DS.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They didn't translate it, but they did make it officially available.
That's right. That's right. And
It
I
is
think
kind of sick.
the Dragon Ball Fighters on Switch, I believe, had a download for Butoden 1 that you could play on your Switch. It was like a pre-order bonus or something. They were just very interested in putting those back on Nintendo consoles for some reason. But that was Super Play. We're jumping a little bit back into the future here with this one. We're going all the way to 2006.
Ooh.
This is from Total Gamer Australia, which is
Oh, no.
completely different from the Total Gamer Canada.
After the last Australian list, I do not trust them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this is from Hortons's Hot 20 games, like of all, or not games of all time, but like the hottest 20 games that are out and about from that the fans wrote in and voted on and said, hey, this is the best video game. But we're only going to be doing the top 10, of course. But I need to put this on the stream because it's very important. This their mascot character and their cool text blurb that they have of Hortons here. Let me grab that real quick and throw it up because I think it's very important. Boop, boop, boop. All right, so yeah, this is the top of the chart. This is Hortense.
Oh,
She says, "Me like games, yay! Bubba gubba horsey, on poopsies, me make poopsies, and hey, hee 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 hee, clorp glork, forward," and so on and so
That's,
forth like that.
I'm terrified.
I don't know how to process that. I've got many questions.
Me swallowed a bean, a fly bean, Gorn, Plort, Nerf, Groob, Wibble. One day I will be a movie star. Yay!
Should I be concerned for whoever wrote that?
Oh, this magazine was a trip, dude. I've read so many incredible, absurd things in this one. I was so delighted I had to include this one. The horse background goes crazy. Yeah, so these are...
Tell Hortense what games you love. She cares.
She cares. She cares. She really does. So these are just like the hot 20 of the month, you know. So these are like what fans were writing in saying like, yeah, I love this one. I love this one. So it's gonna be relatively recent to release. This one is like no holds barred. Any platform goes. Handheld, console, even PC, anything goes on there. And then
There's
we're really
no like time frame or unifying theme or anything. It's just the top 20 as people wrote them in.
Yes, this issue is from February of 2006. So things that
no.
were hot in Australia around that time. Isvi, let's start with you.
To be sure, you have to start with me.
I think it's actually my turn to start to...
Okay. Yeah. Bloom, let's start with you.
I didn't have to do that yet.
That's right.
2006,
Mm-hmm.
the 360 had just come out, but didn't have good games yet. Because Halo 3 wasn't out for another year.
Yeah, I will say there's no 7th gen console games on this list.
Okay.
So no PS3, no 360.
Right. Well, PS3 wasn't even out yet.
Correct. Just like nothing,
So,
none of those
right,
guys
right.
were out quite yet. I wonder if, I'm not even sure if the 360 was out in Australia yet over there.
Right. In that case, it's just like people write in, does this include computer games?
There are PC games, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna just throw out Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, a game beloved by all. Resident Evil 4 was a 2005, correct? 2004, 2005. Right.
Yeah,
but then it got
5 on
on PS2 and everything else. But did it hold a candle up in 2006? Though, Horsens. Does she
Hortense.
approve? Does she approve?
Bubba Gubba.
There it
Horsey.
is.
Yeah.
Number 7, hottest video game.
It's like how
Isvi.
Mr. Brightside by the Killers has never left the charts. It's just always going to be on there.
It's just always gonna be there. Over to you, Isvi.
I guess I gotta take a swing from that line of thinking and say Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence.
Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. Let's see. Did Solid Snake and Big Boss and all of his funny animal friends make the list? No Metal Gear, unfortunately. Ari, over to you.
I'm gonna go with Devil May Cry 3.
Ooh, Devil May Cry 3. Big deal for Capcom. But did he stick the landing over there in Australia for this long? Let's see. No luck, unfortunately.
I don't
Back,
believe that.
back to you, Bloom. And I don't forget there are handhelds on this
There are
list as well.
handhelds.
Yes, handhelds, PC, consoles.
Handheld PC. You know what? I'm going to go with PC. I'm going to say World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft. Did that one make the cut? Let's see if that... I don't know anything about World of Warcraft. I don't have an analogy for that. Is it there? No, World
What?
of Warcraft. Not even in the top 20.
You're telling me a list in 2006 didn't have World of Warcraft in the top 20?
Nope.
No.
No World of Warcraft.
Because they don't have internet in Australia.
Isvi. Back to you.
How about Pokemon Ruby Sapphire?
Pokemon Ruby Sapphire. Ruby Sapphire. Are you on that list, Pokemon? Kyogre Groudon? Show yourself. No, unfortunately.
Too
And
much
for
water.
what it's worth, Pokemon Emerald is number 14. So, not quite up to the top 10 we're looking at, but that one got there. Ari, back to you.
If this isn't on the list, my heart is going to snap in two, but I'm going to give this a go. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow.
Castlevania. Let's see if Castlevania won the hearts of the Australian public. Are you there, Castlevania? Unfortunately, that one just didn't make it. No luck there. Back to you, Bloom.
DS and PSP were out by this point.
I believe both were released in 2004, correct?
Yeah. But outside of Japan, nobody really cared about the PSP that much. Unless down under, maybe it was different.
You never know.
What were the big DS games by then? I'm gonna say Animal Crossing DS.
Animal Crossing DS.
Wild World?
Wild World, that would be the one, but did that DS title make it to the top? Let's see. Bing!
What?
Their second favorite, Wild World. They love that guy.
You know what? It makes sense. Australia's full of nightmares, so they want, a pleasant island for a change.
That makes so much sense. And for what it's worth, the first Animal Crossing is on here at number 17. So they
really
were
like their Animal Crossing.
They really like it.
That one came out in like 2002.
Yeah, it's really hanging in there.
It's got staying power.
All right, back over to you, Isvi.
Kingdom Hearts 2?
Kingdom Hearts 2, the magical crossover of Disney and Square Enix. Was that wonderful magic good enough for Australia's finest? No luck, unfortunately.
What the hell is this?
I just
That
don't
is-
understand Australia.
Yeah, we're sort of realizing that between this and the Hyper top 10.
Their Dreamcast list was the crappiest.
Alright, Izzy, that was strike number 3, so we'll have to sit this one out until the next top 10.
It'll take long.
Ari, back over to you.
Ninja Gaiden.
Ninja Gaiden. Let's see if my main man Ryu Hayabusa was taking it to the top over in Australia. Show me Ninja Gaiden. No Ninja Gaiden, unfortunately.
This is insane.
What
right.
were the readers of this magazine into?
You know, from what I gleaned, and I could only find this one issue of this magazine, it was quite baffling. They were quite rude and crass to their readers. Like, I posted
the
this
letter
on
from
social
Hortense
media.
made me think.
Yeah, I posted this on social media where they had like a flyer, or they had many contests to write in and win stuff, and one of them to win a copy of Capcom Classics Collection on the PS2. The author had like a sad story about his grandfather and old Street Fighter games and stuff, and he said his grandfather died, so he said, write to us, how would you feel if you couldn't keep a promise to your dead grandfather?
What the
I
heck?
saw you posted that. It was like,
And if you touch our hearts enough, you can have this cool PlayStation game. It was actually insane. They're psychopaths. Anyway, but what do their fans think about video games? Specifically Hortense's fans.
I think, is it back to me then?
Yep, yeah, you're the only one left.
I've got one strike.
Correct.
Halo 2?
Halo 2 for the old Xbox. Did that one make the list? Let's see if John Master Chief's showing up to the party. No Master
What?
Chief, unfortunately.
I'm shocked, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how popular Xbox
Was this
in
like
Australia.
a Nintendo-only magazine?
Nope.
there's a DS game and a GameCube game,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess other popular DS games.
Okay.
Mario Kart DS.
Mario Kart DS. Good answer, but we'll see if Mario and his friends can cart up onto the top of the chart. Bada bing, bada boom. Number 3.
What?
Those kids love racing.
Okay.
If I had to guess, the Xbox just wasn't very big in Australia.
But
that-
like 2006, Halo 4 or Halo 2 was still like the biggest game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the Australian internet. Alright, well, he's
And you
still got
said-
one more shot.
You said there is computer.
There is a PC game.
There's a PC game, and it wasn't World of Warcraft.
No.
Because I had guessed WoW.
It is a multi-platform game, but they only marked it as PC for some reason.
I want to guess this. I'm trying to think so pretty much through 2005. I mean, it's WoW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and remember, this is a list that has games as old as Animal Crossing 1 on it.
Do I just guess more DS games and see if they come up? I'm super baffled because Halo wasn't on there, Metal Gear Solid wasn't on there. Like what? Pokemon wasn't on there. I gotta take a Hail Mary.
Alright, what are we
Gotta-
going with?
Super Mario 64 DS.
Super Mario 64 DS. Wario's objectively the worst character in the game, but it's still cool that he showed up. But is he showing up to the top of the chart? No, unfortunately. No
Honestly, good.
Wario, no
Like-
Mario 64. So yeah, this top 20, we'll run through the back half real quick. Ridge Racer, PSP, Alien Hominid, which is crazy,
What?
but that's 19. Lego Star Wars, Animal Crossing, Wind Waker, Minish Cap, Pokemon Emerald, Crash Tag Team Racing, Star Wars Battlefront 2 at number 12, and
No.
Fire Emblem at 11, which leads us to our top 10 with Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Really?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
In 2006.
Pokemon's epic. I love 3D models. Then
What's
at
at
number 9, Kirby Canvas Curse.
What?
A DS classic.
So, Hortense's readers really like the DS.
They sure
I mean,
do.
Canvas Curse is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But if in 2006 you asked me to name like my top 10 video games, it's
I would be-
not.
I would be curious to read an American version of this and see what comes up. Number 8 was Fire Emblem: The Sacred Stones.
What? On the Game Boy Advance from 2003.
Yep. Big fan. It's been on the top 20 for 2 months according to this. Next up was number 6, coming in with our PC game, Sims 2.
Oh,
yeah.
you know, I should have guessed that.
Yeah, it's like
Because if it's not Warcraft, it's The Sims.
it's the PC game that you don't need to connect online to play. And then coming in at number 5, Advanced Wars Dual Strike for the DS.
I mean, that game's kind of sick, but like, how is it number 5 in a list from 2006?
Well, Soul Calibur 3 is taking number 4,
What?
if that answers any of your questions.
It gives me more questions.
And then coming in at number
Hold
1
on,
was
hold on, don't-
Nintendo.
Nintendogs!
Nintendogs.
I mean, sure, yeah, that's cute and adorable and everything, but top 10?
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't know.
Was this,
Nintendogs was crazy popular for a while.
It was, but
There were
This-
a good couple of years where kids refused to let their Nintendogs get lonely.
this magazine's readers loved the DS.
They
This-
sure did.
This seems like the coordinated effort where you just like particularly
Right.
write in Nintendogs to troll the magazine.
Maybe. It says it's been in the top 20 for 4 months, according to this. But, like,
What's the longest anything was in their list?
let's see. Well, this one, Resident Evil 4 has been in there for 9. Fire Emblem GBA has been in there for 9. Minish Cap's been in there for 9, and Lego Star Wars has been in there for 9.
There were a lot of games that like just hung around on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't really know how, like, that sort of top reader submission thing works. But that's Hortense for you.
I find myself completely baffled.
My most beloved and spiffy games are these, and you get to mail in your top 5.
My most beloved and spiffy games.
That's right.
Well, we shouldn't make, top 10 lists. We should make most beloved and spiffy games lists.
Maybe they have the right idea.
Take it up with Hortense, alright? Alright, this is the last segment of the show, our last top 10. And this one's a bit of an oddball. It's an oddity. Nothing is, like, properly numbered, so in this round, any answer, and I will be taking quite stretches of the imagination. Really think outside the box with this one. So every answer will be worth 2 points individually. This is from Game Informer, issue number 37, May 1996. This was the top 10 Grid Mortis, who I believe was an author for the magazine. Top 10 Grid Mortis's uses for a 32X. Not games, not like accessories. Top 10 uses for the device.
I'm gonna go with Doorstop.
Doorstop. Did Doorstop make the list? Let's see. No, unfortunately. No Doorstop, but you're shooting in the right ballpark. Airy, what would you use your 32X for?
I wanted to say a blunt weapon of some kind.
A blunt weapon. A blunt weapon. Well, let's see if we can use this thing to hurt others. It's great for throwing at Sega reps. There you go. There we go. Professor Bloom, over to you.
Now, I had gotten a 32X for Christmas the prior December to this. So I've got to wonder. And it occurs to me, I probably read this very article 29 years ago. I think I have that magazine somewhere.
Ooh.
If I hadn't thrown them out. That's all to say that I'm not going to remember any of these. So if throwing at a Sega rep was on the list, I'm going to say making your Sega feel taller.
Making your Sega feel taller. Everybody is a big fan of the Tower of Power, but is that enough to make it for Grid Mortis's sick and twisted uses? Let's see. No luck, unfortunately. Isvi, back over to you.
I'm entirely unfamiliar with the humor of this magazine.
Well, what would you use a 32X for?
I feel like you gotta make it a hood ornament.
A hood ornament? Ooh. Let's see. Let's see if we can stick that bad boy on the front of the car. That would look kind of sick, though, now that I'm thinking about it. But did Grid Mortis think so, too? Let's see. No hood ornaments. No sort of vehicle accoutrements that I can find here. The background music has gotten a little loud. I could just turn that down, then. Alright, Airy, back over to you.
I was just thinking What if you took like a really big leather belt and made it like a giant like championship belt, a 32X belt?
Oh, that would look sick as like a big old wrestling belt.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see if that one's making the cut. Fashion accessory. Did we have it? Is it there? Let's see. No luck, unfortunately. Bloom, back over to you. One strike.
It's like I have a 32X within arm's reach,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like contemplating this object. What could I use this for?
You can really feel it out. You can like grab its structural integrity.
Right. I gotta say, I really like the strange form factor, the 32X. I'm gonna say doorstop.
Ooh. I think Isv already said that.
Oh,
so I'll let you. We'll let that one slide.
Okay.
Good answer though.
Bookend.
Bookend to prop up all your favorite little books and comics
Prop
and
up your
stuff.
Game Informer magazine.
Your Game Informer magazines. Did they think of that one? Let's see. There it is. Strategy Guide Bookend. Nicely
I'll have
done.
to take a picture of my 32X being used for that purpose.
Yeah, I'm sure it's sturdy enough if you just angle it the right
is.
way.
It can handle it.
Alright, Izzy, back to you. You got 2 strikes. You gotta dig deep.
Yeah, I have not a damn clue. I'm looking at a picture of a 32X, just trying to imagine what you could use this thing for.
It's got many purposes, according to this guy. Some of them a bit more apparent than others.
I was gonna say a business card holder.
Oh, I like that. Business card holder. That's exciting. You could stuff all sorts of things in that thing, huh? Let's see. Let's see if we're using this guy to stuff some product inside. Is it there? No, I'm afraid nothing of the sort, unfortunately.
That's my Sega 32X. I have it in hand now. I am pondering it.
All eyes V. That was a good run, but Grid Mortis just outsmarted you this time. What can we say?
That guy just got my number.
Alright, Ari, back over to you. You're only on 1 strike.
What if you took like 4 of these and you strap them to your arms and legs, and then you use them as like like pads in case you fall down?
Okay, like a padding, a power
Yeah.
armor of sort. I
Yeah.
like that. I like that. Let's see if we've got protective gear anywhere on this list. Are you there, protective gear? No luck, unfortunately. Blue,
no
back over to you.
It's like I've got my 32X right
Mhm.
here, and I'm thinking like, what can I do with this? It's great for throwing at Sega reps.
Mm-hmm.
So that covers like projectiles. We've got holding stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
What else can it do?
What else can it do? And it might just be something outlandish. It might just be something quote unquote practical.
Makes a good improvised target at the shooting range.
Ooh, improvised target. Gonna tear this thing up sky high. I like where you're going with it. The whole just fuck this thing, destroy this thing mentality. But let's see if physical
would never
destruction
hurt
is
my
on that
32X.
list. I know you wouldn't. Grid Mortis would, but you wouldn't. I would never hold that against you. But let's see, did that make the cut? No luck, unfortunately. Alright, Ari, over to you. 1 shot left.
A makeshift tissue dispenser.
Tissue dispenser. I could see it. I could see you cramming some in there as, you know, at the very
it
least
right
for a
in the cartridge
guide and as like a gag in a magazine like this. Well, let's see, tissue holder, are you there? Can we get some tissues to no.
You don't want to finish that. I don't think you do.
Well, they didn't either, so it's okay. All right, Bloom, last shot.
My last strike. I almost
Time
feel like
for
I
the-
don't.
time to
I
sweep.
don't want to score any other points. 'Cause
You like your score the way
I've got
it
a
is?
pretty nice score.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say. You can pretend it's a game controller if you're really high.
Ooh, passing it controller 2 over to High Big Bro over there, so he can play
Right.
along as well. So he can really feel like he's helping out in Corpse Killer. Is that the one? The 32
That's
CD.
it's a CD32X game.
Yeah,
It's a pretty good one. I've
Let's
got it.
see. Let's see if player 2 sneaks up on the board. No luck, unfortunately. You're just gonna have to settle for 69 nice points. And I do want to say, I feel after last one of these I did, where I did like top 10 Christmas things or whatever, and none of them were related to video games in the slightest, but because it was in a video game magazine, I really felt compelled to include it. And I sort of feel that way whenever I find a ridiculous top 10 like this thrown around in
I
here.
feel that's totally fair. Hey, we got two of them.
We got 2 of them. Not too shabby. I just think it's a part of the magazine feeling, you know? It's not a video game trivia show, it's video game media trivia. And that's my line in the sand. Anyway, if you're curious what else you can do with the 32X,
I'm so
you can help
curious.
ET phone home.
How?
There's no. I'm holding it up to the side of my head like a phone, and I mean, I guess
Oh, you're side talking.
I'm side talking.
You're side talking, baby. If you need this, it'll help you out with a bathtub headrest.
I don't
Something
know
to,
about that.
something
Doesn't
to,
look very comfortable.
Putting it behind my head.
yeah,
Actually,
give us.
The shape's kind of okay. It wouldn't be too bad.
Maybe if you had like a towel or something over it.
Right.
Let's see. Video Gamers Football. It makes a nice spiral. I won't ask you to recreate that one, Bloom.
Gripping it, it does have a little bit of that shape, but the laces
It-
are what make a football spiral work, not just the shape. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
gonna call that one suspect. I'm not
Well,
throwing my 32X.
We'll have to take that one up with Grid. Let's see. And you can use it as part of a G.I. Joe base.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
sick,
yeah.
actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yeah, have all your little
go
army guys, your
great as
tanks
part-
and stuff.
Infiltrated
It's
the
very
3X
it's very
complex.
Cobra, isn't it?
Right, you could easily. I would have done it with X-Men figures at that time,
Mhm.
but
Ah, yeah. Let's see. And no business cards, no tissues. However, makes a great futuristic toaster.
that's small bread.
It's pretty small bread. It's
I was thinking about that. I don't
I
know.
can
went with
see it
tissues
though. I see
instead.
it.
yeah. And,
I think I was
oh,
thinking like, yeah, you have no way to power it as a toaster.
Right.
Yeah, this thing is it's multifaceted, right? And hey, alongside GI Joe, girls can play games too, right? So how about giving it to Barbie as a nice hovercraft?
Sure,
Barbie-
why not?
Barbies are pretty big.
Barbies are pretty big.
Yeah, Barbie's kind of
Um,
like bigger than a 32X, but
Well,
I
alright
like it. I
then.
like it.
If little sis can't play with it, then why don't we just toss this thing to the dog? Because this shit's a chew toy. And last but certainly not least, in case things really hit the fan, it makes a great imitation thermonuclear device. in case you need to make a sort of sick and twisted threat to somebody, just show them that in a bag wrapped in a bit of newspaper.
It does have a lot of wires coming out of it.
Yeah, if one of us gets on our evil supervillain arc, you'll be the first to know.
I'll be the first to know. But yeah, that was the Grid Mortis's top 10 uses for a 32X in May of 1996.
Still have that issue of Game Informer.
It's nutso. But hey, that's all part of the culture, right? That's all part of what this is all about. Because again, we're not just talking about video games, we're talking about the freaks and geeks that review video games.
Right. We love
I say that with
being
love in my
wacky.
heart. We loved getting our point across in the paper for all to see. But that concludes this episode of Archive Attack. Give it up for our champion, Professor Bloom. Congratulations for taking home the gold. Ari, Eisv, I appreciate you coming along as well. That was a fun thrill ride for sure. Everybody did a great job. Video game magazines make little to no sense sometimes. It's so fun to see just how mad you can get at somebody's opinion that they published in the paper.
Oh, I'm kind of over that. Like, I'm getting too old to be angry, I think.
Give me more of those like absolute terrible British takes from the mid-90s about how anything with color is bad. I'll eat that up all day. Give me those.
I can't get enough. I love reading an article about how they call Goku a chap and how he throws his Kamehameha banana beam. It's
Give me more articles about how Mega Man Legends has too many colors.
But Mega Man 8's not 3D, so that's not good either.
When
What a
will they
wild
learn?
and wacky world. When will they learn?
Hopefully never.
Yeah, this was Archive Attack, my video game media themed game show. If you out there are a VTuber, streamer of any sort, and you know a thing or two about retro games and this sort, fill out that form and you'll be considered for the next taping of the next live episode of Archive Attack. I hope to see you all there. Everybody, big round of applause for everybody who played here again. Please, by all means, shout yourselves out again. Tell us about yourself. Any streams coming up again? Ari, you got any streams down the pipeline that are coming up relatively soon?
I'm playing Balatro tomorrow.
Balatro, the Joker baby. I've seen so many of my friends fall victim to that game. I'm too afraid to try it out because of that.
Yeah, don't get into it. It'll be very hard to pull you back out.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do my best to avoid the Joker and his funny jokes. It looks fun though. It looks neat. It took me a long time to actually see gameplay of it, but for a while it was just like the name that lingered. Even like with my offline friends, everybody was on Balatro. So it's really been around the block for a bit. But yeah, thank you for joining me, Ari. You said you're doing that tomorrow? Any
Yep,
time
tomorrow night.
period?
It's probably 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern time.
All right, cool. Make sure you guys all go follow Ari and check him out over there for Balatro and all sorts of other exciting games. You're working through any RPGs right now?
2. I'm working through Breath of Fire and Ys 8, and
Nice.
sadly I haven't had a lot of time to do RPGs this week. I'm hoping to make up some time.
Right, and it's the GBA version of Breath of Fire, right?
It is, yeah. Although the translation is still whack as hell. I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, we love Ted Woolsey in this house.
Oh, it's worse than that. It's just wrong.
Words don't mean.
Words don't mean what they're supposed to, and the game just tells you wrong information.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fun. That keeps you coming back for more. Eisv, I know for a little while there, you weren't able to do too much, but you've been back streaming a little bit. I know you got God Hand and stuff going on. I have to wait 8 seconds before I give another shout out, so please, by all means, tell us where everyone can find you and what you're planning to do for any upcoming streams.
Yeah, you can find me just follow the link on the Twitch thing to my page, or you can go to isv.lmaonice.com to my website and find my links to Blue Sky there. I usually stream one day, Saturday or Sunday, starting before noon, usually, Eastern Standard Time. Like G-Pool said, I'm currently playing God Hand, but I can only play God Hand for like an hour before my circuits turn to mush. So I think I'm gonna play some other PS2 action games.
Ooh, anything
along
in
with
mind?
that, I'm gonna play Ace Combat 4. I want to play.
Okay.
That's set in stone. I might play Zone of the Enders 2. I did just dig out a bunch of strange video games, including a Dragon Ball Z game I've literally never seen before in my entire life.
Oh, which one?
It's a Sega Saturn game. I don't remember the title of it.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking
I have one
about.
on Saturn, and it's a really sick fighting game, so I hope it's that one.
Me too. I think I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember how many are on the Saturn. I don't think there's too many, so it's probably the one we're thinking of. And
It's
if it
probably
is,
that one.
that's awesome. Dragon Ball games are so crazy. There's so many of them out there. A lot
I
of
love
them
though.
just didn't leave Japan, which makes sense. So Dragon Ball didn't exist outside of Japan for a very long time. But like, there's so many gems out there. You were talking about PS2, and I thought you were just gonna say like Dragon Ball Z sagas or something.
No,
And I was like,
Oh,
have some mercy on myself.
this cool Dragon Ball game I'd never heard of before. It's 2-player? Get out of here. God, that game's so funny. Have you played it?
No, I've watched video of it.
I
It does
rented
this
that back
awesome.
when it came out.
It's so funny how whenever you get to like the core battle, it takes away the multiplayer and it puts Goku on a fucking timer. So eventually the clock will tick and it says, "All right, it's little brother's turn. Let him pick up the controller and be Goku." It's so insane. All right. That'll be tomorrow over on ISV's Twitch channel.
It'll be Sunday.
Sunday on ISV's Twitch channel.
Saturday I intend to sleep all day and recover so I can go back to drawing
Oh, that's such
silly
a good
boobs on the
idea.
internet again.
I love when you do that. You're very good at it.
Thank you.
And Professor Bloom,
Yeah.
congratulations first of all.
Thank you.
Did a video game stream for over 24 hours last week, and that was
I
quite
did.
impressive and cool and badass.
I did. I had a lot of fun for Valentine's Day. My idea of celebration was celebrating the purest form of love, which is loving Kusoge. So I
Mhm.
played all of Tecmo's Secret of the Stars for Super Nintendo in one sitting. And I still don't know what the Secret of the Stars was, but it was a lot of fun. The
You have
secret
to
might
be
have
true to
just been
yourself.
the friends we made along the way. It's a spectacular game. If you would like to take the dog pill, you need to play Secret of the Stars. That's
You
not,
heard him here first.
It's not a joke.
furries.
It's not a joke at all. No, but I play lots and lots of retro games. I always do real hardware, which means I've gone to some pretty silly lengths for things, including modifying my DS with the capture board so I could stream the game I hate most in the entire world, which is Lunar Dragon Song.
Ah, wonderful.
I also beat that in one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
It was that was only 22 hours though, not 25. No, but if you enjoy, obscure, strange games that maybe you've never heard of, come check me out. I also play Doom on Wednesdays. So normally I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, usually around 6 p.m. Eastern. If you like Doom, come by on Wednesdays, because I play custom Doom 2 Megawatts all the time, and I'm never gonna stop doing that ever, because I will never run out of new high quality Doom to play.
You will never run out of new high-quality Doom. That's wonderful.
It's great. I have essentially an unlimited supply of my favorite game.
That's That's such a wonderful feeling. I'm like a big fan of A Link to the Past randomizer, and that's basically that for me. Being able to just play that game
just always play
time and time and time again, and you always get like something new and exciting out of it.
Right.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
But thank you so much for having us. This was a total blast.
Yes, thank you again for the invitation.
Of course. Thank you all for joining me here and putting up with all my technical difficulties and everything. I'm happy to run these shows, and it does take a no-joke amount of work to get everything set up and get all the articles and everything I want to find. So I'm always happy that people tune in and enjoy the show. But yeah, thank you all for joining me here.
I'll get Blood Rain on the screen one last time.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say the same thing.
All right, you little scamp. There you go.
There she is.
There she is. Blood Rain. Dead
Real star.
sexy. I'll be on Lone Star Cult stream tomorrow. We're doing a Dokapon collab with Ray Robinstein
good luck. So sorry.
and CC Hime. I've never played a Dokapon game before.
Can I, without telling you what Dokapon is like, can I tell you a short Dokapon story?
Sure.
When Dokapon first came out on the Wii, probably about a year after, I bought a copy because I heard it was, a game for sickos. And it is. So I was going to visit some friends, and we hadn't seen each other in a couple years. Like, we'd all finished school, and we were busy having real adult lives. So we decided, let's just take a whole, long weekend, hang out, and let's play Dokapon. We heard it can take a long time to play. So we decided you can do the whole story mode, 4-player, with essentially no limit on how long the game is.
Yeah.
And the 4 of us played it for, I think it was 25 hours across a 3-day weekend, and we almost physically came to blows. Like, friendships were tested.
Oh, wonderful.
We almost left that weekend not friends anymore. I still have the save file living on my Wii, and every now and then I text that group of friends like, we could finish Dokapon, and they all either immediately respond no in all caps. One time one of them called me and said absolutely not. Like, he needed me to hear his voice. So that's...
So it's a good game.
It's a great game. Maybe you'll hear Dark Whispers. Maybe you'll,
Ooh, I hope.
sell your soul for money.
Yeah, you're gonna get a Dark Brotherhood event.
Maybe, you'll backstab some people, get backstabbed in turn. It's a good time.
Well, I'm great, and I've got the luck of the draw on my side, so I really don't have anything to fear. But
That's
those other guys, though, they're gonna be in for some trouble. But I'll be back on my own channel. Actually, I think Tuesday I've got a collab coming up, but we're gonna have to make sure everything checks out there. But as usual on the weekend, probably Sunday, I'll have a schedule for what I'm doing next week. But yeah, tomorrow, Lone Star Cult, Dokapon Kingdom. Make sure you're there for that. And if you like the show and you like what I do, you can follow me in places. I've got a Discord where you can post your favoritist picture of your dog, among other things.
I was going to say, are cats allowed?
Yes. There's a whole channel specifically for animal posting, as all good Discords have. But yeah, thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you again to my esteemed guests. Congratulations for Professor Bloom. Eventually, I'm going to have to do a championships bout between the other previous winners. I think that'd be a real fun one to do. Between Danny Sarduce, Melty Kit, Professor Bloom. Figure something out. But for now, we're out. So we're gonna go and raid Fire Mountain. She's playing Sonic Colors, and I recently fell in love with that game because it's pretty good.
Excellent.
It's a wonderful game. And the raid message. Here we go. There we go. Archive Attack. Thank you all for joining me, everybody. This was a blast. Expect more Archive Attack in the future. I love being a funny little game show host. And I look forward to seeing you in the next stream. Anybody got any last words?
Nope. Have a good night, everybody.
Nope. Have a good night, everybody. Alright. Goodbye, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. See ya
Bye. Thank
soon.
you so much
All
again
right,
for
thanks,
hosting.
Darren. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Farewell. Farewell.